Chapter 1235. Master, I have given the order. The Ouyang family will be ruled by you from now on. Ouyang Zhen walked out of the door and stood in front of Lin Rei. His tone was full of respect, but when he saw Wang Ji and the other two, he was stunned. You three old things, now you know your place. Who asked you to bully me in the past? Ouyang Zhen felt a little proud of the three of them for being so obedient. Lin Rei wanted to check Tian Quanzi's storage ring, but he did not expect Ouyang Zhen to come out just as he was about to do so. Looking at Ouyang Zhen kept the storage ring in his hand. Have you given the order? The journey might be a little long, and it might take a long time. I have given the order. Ouyang Zhen nodded, then looked at Wang Ji and the other two and cupped his fists. I hope you can take care of the Ouyang family when I am not in Sea City. I will be very grateful. The three of them were stunned by Ouyang Zhen's behavior. Obviously, they were surprised by Ouyang Zhen's behavior. After being together for 1,000 years, they knew Ouyang Zhen's temper well. He was arrogant, overbearing, and insufferably arrogant. But what about now? Ouyang Zhen's insufferably arrogant temperament was nowhere to be seen. Instead, he was worried about his family. The three of them were stunned. They cupped their fists and replied, "Don't worry. Ouyang family will be safe in Sea City." Hearing this, a smile appeared on Ouyang Zhen's face. He nodded and said, "Thank you, family heads." Just like that, the three of them chatted for a while and followed Lin Rei out of Sea City. They left the place where he was born and cultivated for 1,000 years. Sigh, Ouyang Zhen is really lucky to be able to climb up such a big tree. Maybe we will need to rely on him in the future. And that's true. That person's cultivation is strong, and he has 9 dragons. The aura that the dragons revealed just now was very powerful. They are probably at the great circle of the Earth Sage realm. With such strength, the force behind that person must not be simple. Yeah, Ouyang Zhen, that old thing. I don't know if he saved the Milky Way in his previous life or what, but he always gets lucky. Wang Ji and the other two heaved sighs of regret. However, most of them were envious of Ouyang Zhen. After all, not everyone could casually give out 3 breakthrough pills. Ouyang Zhen and Lin Rei had no idea what the three of them were thinking. Even if they did, they wouldn't have any thoughts about it. Haiyan Town was the closest town to the Eastern Sea. Other than this, there was no other place to stay. This place was not like other towns. It was filled with blood and slaughter. It was a heaven for cultivators, but at the same time, it was also hell for cultivators. In the Eastern Sea, demonic beasts were as numerous as the hairs on a cow. Similarly, wherever there were demonic beasts, there would be cultivation resources. Therefore, in this town, there were many guilds and guilds. At the same time, there were also auction houses and purchasing shops. All kinds of heavenly materials and earthly treasures could be found here. Of course, compared to some big cities, this place was not inferior in the slightest. Walking at the entrance of Haiyan Town, Ouyang Zhen could feel the killing intent in the town. He couldn't help but feel worried. Divine monarchs, divine emperors, and divine venerables were as numerous as the hairs on a cow. They could be seen everywhere on the streets. It was not like the Sea City, where there was a notice that no large-scale killing would take place in the city. However, Haiyan Town was different. Killing could be seen everywhere. Even the signpost at the entrance of the town was filled with the smell of blood. Master, should we observe for a while? The people inside are not easy to deal with. If we go in so brazenly, we might be treated as fat sheep. How many times have I told you not to call me master? Call me young master. Why can't you change it? Ouyang Zhen didn't answer his question. Instead, he asked him back helplessly. The two of them were Lin Rei and Wang Ji, who left the Sea City. It took them half a month to travel from the Sea City to Haiyan Town. Along the way, whenever Lin Rei heard the word master, he felt uncomfortable all over. He emphasized it many times, but Ouyang Zhen's ears seemed to be stuffed with donkey hair. Every time he said to change it, what happened in the end? He couldn't change it. This made Lin Rei feel helpless and speechless. Amos, young master, it's just a title. You don't have to be so serious. Ouyang Zhen smiled honestly as he looked at Lin Rei. During this period of time, Ouyang Jun had spent a lot of time with Lin Rei and understood Lin Rei's temperament. Lin Rei would tolerate his subordinates as long as they didn't become his enemy. Even if they gossiped, it was understandable. However, if they became his enemy, the consequences would be obvious. They would either die or suffer a fate worse than death. You rascal. Ouyang Jun rolled his eyes at Ouyang Jun and covered his face gloomily without saying anything. Then, he walked into Haiyan Town. Lin Rei didn't care about Ouyang Jun's worries at all. This was what he wanted. The more chaotic things were, the more information he would get. It looks like the Eastern Sea is going to be chaotic. During this period of time, cultivators from various forces have poured into Haiyan Town. I really don't know where they got the confidence to go to the ancient ruins at sea. Indeed, going to the ancient ruins is tantamount to cutting one's own throat and committing suicide. Even the gang members like us who travel the sea might not be able to guarantee 100% return. I also don't know where these people get their confidence from. At the entrance, when they saw Lin Rei and Ouyang Jun, they started discussing with disdain. They looked down on Lin Rei and Ouyang Jun. Damn, I am the head of the Ouyang clan, one of the 4 great clans of High City. How can you look down on me like that? Don't I care about my face? If it were the previous Ouyang Jun, he would have definitely stepped forward and slapped each of them. However, after following Lin Rei, he changed his mind. His previous insufferably arrogant personality was restrained, and his arrogance no longer existed. Calm down and calm down. You are about to break through to the Saint Realm. This kind of thing will happen more often in the future. If you keep acting like this, how can you live? If you want to break through to the Saint Realm, you must forget about yourself. Since you are following me, I will cultivate well in the future. Once I become stronger, they will naturally shut up. As he spoke, he was afraid that Ouyang Jun wouldn't accept it. He pointed at the person who spoke first and said, "Don't be unconvinced. That person is the same as you. He is a half-step saint. Moreover, he comprehended the law of ice." What? This? Do you find it hard to believe? Do you find it inconceivable? Do you think it is impossible? Ouyang Jun asked 3 questions at once. His whole face turned red. He then continued, "It is the truth. As for the other 2, it is even simpler. They are also reverend gods and half-step saints. So, what they said might not be unreasonable. The demonic beasts in the sea might really be stronger than the demonic beasts on land. So you just need to calm down." After speaking, Ouyang Jun stopped talking and fell into silence. He stared at the people who spoke. The shock in his heart didn't show for a long time. Lin Rei remained silent all the way. Regarding Ouyang Jun's situation, he just smiled and didn't say anything. It was all up to him. If he couldn't think it through, no one could persuade him. The morgue? In the center of Sea Cloud Town, there was a 3-story, luxurious restaurant. What surprised Linley was that the surrounding buildings were all very ordinary. Only the mortuary tavern stood out from the rest of the surrounding buildings. "Hey, little brother, you look unfamiliar. Is this your first time in the morgue?" Suddenly, a question came from beside him. The voice was hoarse and very harsh. "You are?" Turning his head and looking at the person who spoke, Lin Rei was stunned. He didn't hide the astonishment on his face. The person who spoke seemed to be Panin. He had sword-like eyebrows, bright eyes, and fair skin. His white robe was very elegant. However, his voice, "I am Lu Shusheng. How may I address you?" Damn it! Hearing the man say his name, Lin Rei's mouth twitched. He was speechless. This name is Tum, an early-stage Dao fruit sage. Just as Lin Rei was surprised by Lu Shusheng's name, a trace of aura was faintly discernible from Lu Shusheng's body. Fellow Taoist? Fellow Taoist? Seeing Lin Rei in a daze, Lu Shusheng waved his hand in front of Lin Rei and called out softly. That. After being awakened by Lu Shusheng, he immediately smiled awkwardly and cupped his hands. "I am Lin Rei. Lin Rei. TSK, TSK. This name is not bad. It is not as stylish as my name." Seeing Lu Shusheng's proud smile, Lin Rei didn't want to say anything. Lu Shusheng was also a weirdo. He stepped forward and was about to enter the peace house. He didn't want to be entangled with Lu Shusheng anymore. Hey. Fellow Taoist, don't go. I haven't told you about the peace house yet. Seeing Lin Ray leave, Lu Shusheng stepped forward and followed him in. F***CK. This guy is not fun anymore. Seeing Lu Shusheng follow him, Lin Ray was speechless. However, the other party was a sage. He couldn't say anything. Fellow Taoist, this peace house has a strong background. The force behind it is very famous. In this sea cloud town, or even the entire East Sea region, no one dares to provoke it. Listen to me, this peace house is a force of the heavenly court. The main force behind it is, for a moment, Lu Shusheng began to talk endlessly. He was like a fly buzzing in Lin Ray's ear. Not only was Lin Ray speechless, but even Ouyang Zhen felt helpless. He wanted to go forward and drive him away. However, after hearing Lin Ray's voice transmission and knowing that the other party was a sage, he retreated in shock. However, the fact that Lu Shusheng was a sage was a huge blow to him. As the saying goes, there is always someone better than you. When he was in Sea City, he was just a frog at the bottom of a well. Now, he realized that the world was so big that he felt helpless. Dear guests, what would you like to eat and drink? Just as Lin Ray was feeling helpless, the waiter's voice broke the current situation. Just bring out all your signature dishes. As for the wine, it's the best. Are you sure? He stared at Lin Ray with his eyes wide open. I'm sure. Why? Do you think I can't afford it? He was clearly dissatisfied with the waiter's question. Oh, no, I'll go now. After saying that, the waiter left. Fellow Taoist, you stop. After the waiter left, seeing that Lu Shusheng still wanted to continue, Lin Ray hurriedly interrupted him and said, Fellow Taoist, I have something to discuss with my subordinate. You see, Lin Ray's meaning was very clear. He was going to drive them away. As long as they were smart, they should understand. However, oh, I see. Looking at Lin Ray, Lu Shusheng nodded and said, Fellow Taoist, don't worry. I won't listen to you. After saying that, he closed his hearing and sat aside, starting to do nothing. However, at this moment, Lin Ray collapsed. He even began to wonder if what he said just now was not obvious enough. Chapter 1236. In Haiyun Town, Ouyang Zhen asked around and found out that there was a shop that specialized in providing information. It was called the Hall of Trust. Outside the Honest Speech Hall, Ouyang Zhen raised his head to look at the plaque of the Honest Speech Hall as well as its decorations. To be honest, after he saw it, he felt a little strange. Was the Honest Speech Hall really as the people said? Was their information 100% accurate? In Ouyang Zhen's eyes, he felt that the shop where the Hall of Trust was located was just a little better than a beggar. Yes, it was just a little bit better than a beggar. Just a little bit. What entered his eyes was a wooden house. Moreover, it was located at the edge of the town. With such a geographical location, Ouyang Zhen's suspicion was reasonable. Forget it. Who cares if it's accurate or not? Let's ask first, what if it's really accurate? Thinking about it, Ouyang Zhen forcefully instilled his trust in the Hall of Trust. In the end, he decided to check it out. He stepped into the shop. The specifications inside were very simple. There was a counter and a chair. On the counter, there was a booklet that looked like an account book. A man whose face couldn't be seen clearly was lying on the counter, snoring. This scene made Ouyang Zhen feel very helpless. The corner of his mouth twitched. F***CK. Is this really accurate or not? If it's not accurate, I will be struck by the young master. Thinking about the scene of being struck by the young master's hand, he couldn't help but return to reality. Cold sweat constantly overflowed from his forehead and dripped down. As the old saying goes, since you're here, you should take things as they come. Now that you're here, it's too late to regret. Ouyang Zhen held the attitude of treating a dead horse as a living horse. He went forward and sat down in front of the counter. He reached out and knocked on the table. He asked, Boss, business is here. Isn't it time to wake up? The scene was very suspicious and funny. If Ruo Lin and Lei were here, they would definitely give Ouyang Zhen 2 big slaps. Who would believe that this shop was the kind of place that sold information? What a joke. N. The man who had fallen into a deep sleep groaned softly. He then raised his head. His hair was in a mess, so Ouyang Zhen couldn't see his face clearly. The man stretched out his hand and moved his body. A lazy voice entered Ouyang Zhen's ears. What business? Information, name, cultivation race. N? He's quite professional. Of course, it was only for a moment. After all, the previous series of events made Ouyang Zhen doubt the ability of the Trust Speech Hall. Jiao Long from the East Sea. As for his cultivation level, I don't know yet. He opened his mouth and told her what he knew. Are you sure you sell information here? Looking at the man, Ouyang Zhen couldn't help but question him again. He still found it hard to believe. Bang! A muffled sound rang out as the man slammed his palm on the table, giving Ouyang Zhen a fright. He proudly said, of course, our Hall of Trust is a century-old shop. It's definitely worth it. Don't worry, as long as it's information bought from the Hall of Trust, it's definitely self-defined. I don't cheat anyone, dear. Ouyang Zhen was speechless. The man's attitude was too jumpy, but what made Ouyang Zhen puzzled was that he vaguely felt like he had heard this voice somewhere before, but he just couldn't remember where. How much? Give me a number. But as soon as he finished speaking, he instantly released his half-sage cultivation and said in a ghastly tone, it has to be true. Otherwise, my young master won't let you in your Hall of Trust. Hearing that, the man waved his hand disapprovingly and said lazily, don't worry, it's definitely worth it. As soon as he finished speaking, he stretched out his hand in front of Ouyang Zhen and beckoned. 3 million Saint Realm crystals. Oh, right, it's high grade. The Hall of Trust was completely silent. Ouyang Zhen didn't say anything and just stared at the man with wide eyes. The man's figure seemed to be frozen in place. The scene was very strange. Time passed little by little. In this silent and strange atmosphere, Ouyang Zhen didn't know how much time had passed. When he came back to his senses, his expression turned gloomy. Boom! He stood up, and the stool under his but was directly turned into powder by his cultivation. He released his half-sage cultivation without holding back. You are courting death, do you know that? Ouyang was enraged. 3 million Saint Realm crystals, and all of them were upper-grade Saint Realm crystals. It was just a piece of news. He didn't know if this brat was accurate or not, but he had asked for 3 million Saint Realm crystals right off the bat. Did he think that Ouyang's money came from nowhere? Do you think I'm a fool? Don't you know that I'm a tyrant in Ocean City? You sure you want to cause trouble here? The man didn't have the fear that Ouyang Zhen expected. On the contrary, his voice was extremely calm. It was so calm that it made Ouyang Zhen's heart skip a beat. After saying that, the man slowly raised his head and stretched out his hand to push aside his hair. A very clean face that deserved to be beaten up appeared in front of Ouyang Zhen. Hiss! Looking at the man's face, Ouyang Zhen couldn't help but suck in a breath of cold air. He didn't feel good at all. Damn it, this mother of asterisker. Looking at the man, Ouyang Zhen was dumbfounded. This mother of asterisker ignored me. Is this Lu Shusheng that I met in the morgue? Thinking about the other party's cultivation, Ouyang Zhen was startled. He withdrew his shocking aura and turned around without any temper. He gave Lu Shusheng a view of his back. Circulating his cultivation, he instantly disappeared. In midair, Ouyang Zhen's face was extremely bitter. He thought about Lin Rei's advice. Now it's all gone. Originally, he wanted to leave Ocean Cloud Town secretly so that he wouldn't attract Lu Shusheng's attention. But now, not to mention avoiding him, he's already in front of 3 people. Thinking about that, he once again increased his cultivation to the extreme. He circulated his footwork to 200% of its usual speed. He wanted to get away from this guy. However, things often don't go as one wishes. Imagination is beautiful, but reality is indeed cruel. Swoosh! A sound of something breaking through the air came from behind. Accompanied by the sound of something breaking through the air, Ouyang Zhen heard it. Fellow Taoist Ouyang, why are you leaving? I haven't gotten the information about the Flood Dragon yet. How about this if Brother Ouyang thinks 3 million is too expensive? 2 million. 2 million. I'll sell it to you at a discount. How about it? After saying that, Ouyang Zhen was already crying. He had no intention of stopping. His cultivation increased by another level. However, under the pressure of the real cultivation realm, Ouyang Zhen still couldn't get rid of Lu Shusheng. 2 million is not enough. Seeing that Ouyang Zhen still had no intention of stopping, Lu Shusheng muttered to himself for a long time. Then he continued, 1 million. Fellow Taoist, 1 million upper-grade Sacred Realm crystals. I've already lost a lot. You cannot let me earn some money. After saying that, he arrived beside Ouyang Zhen and stood shoulder to shoulder with him. The two's actions caused all the cultivators in the Ocean Cloud Town to pop their heads out and watch the chase in the air. Some of the people who knew Lu Shusheng looked at the person running away in front of them with sympathy in their eyes. Brother, I'm afraid you won't be able to get away from Lu Shusheng for the rest of your life. After saying that, he didn't forget to wipe his tears. It was as if the days when he was chased by Lu Shusheng had already appeared in his mind. In the Ocean Cloud Town, Lin Rei, who was sitting cross-legged on the mountain peak, felt an inexplicable irritation in his heart. A bad premonition welled up in his heart. However, he didn't know that this bad premonition came from all directions. Sigh, my heart is in chaos. His calm heart was thrown into chaos. It was impossible for him to enter the state of meditation. He stood up and raised his head to look into the distance. Looking at the blue sky and the blue sea, the strange feeling in his heart became stronger and stronger. What the F***CK, system, you're not thinking of tricking me again, are you? He asked the system. Lin Rei understood the system very well. Every time the system wanted to screw him over, he would always have this feeling. And this time it was the same. Bullshit. The system's uncultured retort made Lin Rei speechless. Host, don't think so badly of the system. Can you do it or not? The system will occasionally find its conscience. All right, the system said. There was nothing wrong with what he said. It was just that this occasional conscience was just filling up the big hole a little. In terms of nature, there was no change at all. The final result was still the same. Alas, Lin Rei let out a long sigh and didn't think too much about it. Since the system said that it wasn't him, he didn't think about it anymore. However, this feeling was quite unpleasant. All right, host. The system's voice sounded again. Why haven't you purchased the reward from the previous mission? Purchase? Lin Rei was stunned. His mind was filled with... Yes. The system continued. Didn't you get 2 things after completing the previous mission? Hearing this, Lin Rei suddenly remembered that after completing the previous mission, he got the Hongmeng Stone and the right to purchase the Eldritch Arcane Land. However, Linley wasn't too interested in these 2 things. Perhaps some primordial gems would come out, but the right to purchase the Antediluvian Pocket Realms? That sort of thing was something that he had to spend his own money to purchase. Thinking that he still owed the system more than 130 million coins, he didn't have the mood to buy it. What are you trying to say? You want me to buy the Eldritch Arcane Land? Lin Rei asked. He didn't need to think to know that the system was up to no good. Other than tricking him into using his redemption points, there was nothing else. TSK. Lin Rei's words made the system very unhappy. Host, that kind of thing is very important to you. Hongmeng Stone is a necessary material to upgrade the Chaos Dragon Spear. If you upgrade the Chaos Dragon Spear, there might be unexpected benefits. As for the Eldritch Arcane Land, the system paused for a moment, then continued. It's a kind of independent space. It's similar to the Eldritch Arcane Land, which evolved at the beginning of the world. There are all kinds of ferocious beasts and connate demon gods. Of course, there are also countless treasures of heaven and earth. All right, the creatures in there are all real. Instead of saying that it's similar to the Hongmeng world, it's better to say that it's a real existence. It's the same as the Eldritch Arcane Land. What? At this moment, Lin Rei couldn't keep calm. A world similar to the Eldritch Arcane Land, ferocious beasts, connate demon gods, and treasures of heaven and earth were all real. This made Lin Rei feel like he was dreaming. What kind of existence was this? The Eldritch Arcane Land, the Eldritch Arcane Land. This wasn't something that the alternate dimensions opened by saints could compare to. When the two were put together, the alternate dimensions were dregs. Oh no, not even dregs of time. At least dregs had their value. How is it? Are you shocked and moved? The system enjoyed Lin Ray's expression very much. However, Lin Ray didn't respond, as if the system's words hadn't reached Lin Ray's ears at all. Hey, host. Host, don't scare me. The host still didn't speak. He was in a daze, his eyes fixed on the spot. No one wanted to know what he was thinking. However, no one could understand Lin Ray's feelings at this moment, not even the system. For a good youth who'd lived under 9 years of compulsory education, he'd always had the highest respect for Pangu. Now that the system was telling him that the Eldritch Arcane Land was the same as the Eldritch Arcane Land, what was Pangu's creation? What was this world? Could it be that everything before this was fake? When this thought came to mind, Lin Ray felt very frightened and terrified. If it was similar to the Eldritch Arcane Land, it meant that the Eldritch Arcane Land was a complete world. The vast Eldritch Arcane Land was just an Eldritch Arcane Land. How could Lin Ray look at this matter calmly? Sorry, he couldn't do it. Time passed very quickly. After a long time, Lin Ray didn't know how much time had passed. When he came back to his senses, he asked the system in a very uncalm voice, "Tell me, how many exchange points does this Eldritch Arcane Land cost? If this world really exists, why did Pangu create the Eldritch Arcane Land? Other than this holy realm, are there any other realms? For example, another Eldritch Arcane Land or another realm?" This matter made Lin Ray vigilant. The system was too powerful. After learning about the Eldritch Arcane Land, he knew that the system was too powerful. It was so powerful that Lin Ray was terrified. Even an existence like the Eldritch Arcane Land could be used by the system as an Eldritch Arcane Land. He really wanted to know what else the system didn't have. However, the system's words made the system fall silent. Why aren't you saying anything? Is it difficult to answer my question? The system's silence made Lin Ray even more suspicious. His guess was right. System? Say something. The system's silence made Lin Ray even more uneasy. He was terrified and all kinds of fantasies appeared. Ding. The host's authority is insufficient. Unable to obtain more information. Ding. The system's item spirit has overstepped its boundaries and sensed that the host's authority is insufficient. In response, the system's item spirit is given a first warning. If there's a next time, the system's item spirit will be destroyed as punishment. Lin Ray was speechless. The system's notification. This made Lin Ray feel helpless. At the same time, he confirmed that he was right. Perhaps the world he saw was not complete. Or perhaps the world he was in was only a part of the universe. Or perhaps it was the tip of the iceberg. Chapter 12:37. All right. Lin Ray shrugged. He admitted defeat. The system's words reminded Lin Ray of the time when he first got the system. She didn't answer any of his questions, and she didn't know what to say. This made Linley feel helpless. Then, can you tell me how many exchange points are needed for the Antediluvian Mystery Land? No, I don't think I need permission to buy it. Ding. No, you can do it anytime. He waited for the system's response, but the system didn't even let out a fart. This made Linley even more speechless. Sigh. She sighed and continued. Why don't you just say it? It's fine if you just say it. You can't make me ask you every time. Ding. The Antediluvian Mystery Land in Hongmeng costs 360 million exchange points. Ding. Since the host has performed well during this period, the store has given the host a 5% discount. 5% discount. F*CK. I still need 300 million for a 5% discount? Lin Ray felt as if the heavens had given him a bolt from the blue. He had the urge to bang his head against a wall. 360 million, not just 3 or 30 million, but 360 million, plus the 130 million he still owed the system. In total, Lin Ray did not want to live anymore. He felt that the system was a bottomless pit that could never be filled. Host, the system suggests that you buy it. This item is very useful for training in the sect. Also, the system paused for a moment and continued. Don't you think that if you can control the creatures in the Antediluvian Mystery Land, the 10,000 years mission will be easier for you. You should know that there is everything in the antediluvian mystery land. The spirit chi is rich, and there are countless treasures. If you can control the entire antediluvian mystery land, then you can imagine how big the scene will be. The system tempted Lin Ray to imagine what it would be like to rule the antediluvian mystery land. TSK. It was too good. However, he knew his limits. He could lead a sect, but to rule an entire antediluvian mystery land? Sorry, I'll give you the word he. Sigh. Good luck. Believe in yourself. You're the system's chosen host. You have to believe in yourself. Belief is power. You can do it. After saying that, the system stopped talking and logged off the lonely and cold Lin Ray. At this moment, there should be a very bleak background music. It would be best if it was the kind of music that cut plum blossoms. With a lonely and bleak background, then the scene would be very vivid. 300 million. To be honest, he was tempted. After all, if he wanted to complete the mission given by the system, he was a little afraid of 10,000 years. If he couldn't complete it when the time was up, he didn't need to think about the consequences. Sigh. He sighed and shook his head. His entire body felt weak and helpless. Why did he choose the path of cultivation in the first place? To become stronger? For excitement? Or was it because he didn't want to be looked down upon by others? For the sake of reaching the pinnacle of the Tao, Lin Ray didn't want to think about these things anymore. He only knew that what he had to do now was to work hard and become stronger. Only then would he be able to protect his family and his disciples. More importantly, he had to work hard to cultivate and surpass the system. Whoosh! While Lin Ray was in a daze, the sound of something breaking through the air could be heard from afar. He looked over and saw Ouyang Zhen rushing over from afar. Behind Ouyang Zhen, Lu Shusheng was following behind him. He was talking nonstop. Ruo Lin Lei was glad that he saw Lu Shusheng. He was afraid that he would choose to leave Ouyang Zhen and leave this guy who made his life worse than death. Obviously, even if Lin Ray was awake now, he couldn't make it in time, because he was already here. Young master, quick! Quick! That Lu Shusheng is following us. Run! Lu Shusheng reminded Lin Ray while running. His appearance was very gorgeous. Fellow Taoist Ouyang, you don't have to do this. I just want to get to know you too. Besides, shouldn't you go to my shop to buy information? Now, the business is not done. You can't disappoint me like this, isn't it? He had already noticed Lin Ray. His figure flashed and arrived beside Ouyang Zhen. He reached out and grabbed Ouyang Zhen's shoulder. In a flash, he appeared beside Lin Ray. Ouyang Zhen was dumbfounded by his speed. He thought of Lu Shusheng, who was chasing after him. It turned out that this guy was just playing with him. Lu Shusheng's arrival made Lin Ray come back to his senses. However, when he looked at Ouyang Zhen beside him, Lin Ray's face turned gloomy. His gaze fell on Ouyang Zhen, and he looked at him with interest. It was as if he was saying, "Not bad, little Zhen. When this is over, your good days will come to an end." Ouyang Zhen sensed Lin Ray's gaze. He moved his body and subconsciously looked away. "Fellow Taoist, we meet again." He cupped his hands and said to Lin Ray, "Oh, yes, we meet again." Lin Ray replied to Lu Shusheng's greeting with a fake smile. "Ouyang Zhen, why did you provoke him? Didn't I tell you to ask for more? By the way, do you have any information about the flood dragon?" When the two questions appeared, Ouyang Zhen's face fell. He replied with a guilty conscience, "Young master, I didn't get any information about the flood dragon. As for this Lu Shusheng, I originally went to a place that specialized in selling information. Who would have thought that this guy was the boss of that place?" So, he shrugged his shoulders. Even he felt helpless. Phew. He let out a long breath and tried to calm himself down. He knew Lu Shusheng's cultivation. If he was alone, he could get rid of him. However, now that Ouyang Zhen was with him, knowing that this choice was not feasible, he raised his head and looked at Lu Shusheng. He cupped his hands and said, "Fellow Taoist, a straightforward person does not resort to insinuations. You know why I'm here. If it's convenient, please tell me the information about the flood dragon. If so, I'll be very grateful. Yes, I can give you the information about the flood dragon. Lu Shusheng continued. 3 million Saint Realm crystals, high-grade ones. As long as you give me the money, everything is negotiable. Lu Shusheng stretched out his hand as if he was asking for it. Looking at Lu Shusheng's reaction, Lin Ray smiled. It's easy to ask for money. Lin Ray stretched out his hand, and a storage ring appeared in his hand. He waved his hand and activated his Saint's spiritual chi. The storage ring landed steadily in Lu Shusheng's hand. 3 million high-grade Saint Realm crystals, no more, no less. Now, fellow Taoist, you can tell me the information about the flood dragon. Linley didn't care about 3 million crystals. Compared to the crystal cores that could increase one's cultivation level, these Saint Realm crystals were nothing to him. If he could use these Saint Realm crystals to exchange for the information he wanted, it would be worth it. And all of this, in the eyes of the two of them, was truly astounding. 3 million Saint Realm crystals of upper grade. However, Yishuan was willing to give it away without batting an eyelid. This made the two of them feel shocked. Because of this, Lu Shusheng looked at Lin Ray in a different light. If it was before, his eyes were burning. Yes, burning. I can give you the information about the flood dragon, but Lin Ray was stunned and his face darkened. He hated people who haggled and raised the price. Yes, he did not care about the money, but he hated people who went back on their words. I'll take the 3 million, but if you want the information about the flood dragon, you have to agree to one condition. Condition? Lin Ray narrowed his eyes. Tell me. It's simple. Lu Shusheng smiled and said, this time, you have to go to the flood dragon's location with Xiao Dao. Look, the flood dragon's cultivation is strong. You can't handle it alone. If you bring Xiao Dao, you might be able to help. Tell me, am I right? Yes, of course. Before Lin Ray could say anything, the system answered for Lin Ray. What are you doing? Lin Ray muttered. This little guy is right. Think about it. The flood dragon's cultivation is at least in the Earth Saint realm. Do you think you can defeat an Earth Saint? Hearing this, Linley was startled. Indeed, it seemed that the Earth Saint himself would find it hard to say. Let's say you can defeat an Earth Saint realm beginner, but what about an Earth Saint realm intermediate? An Earth Saint realm advanced? An Earth Saint realm advanced? Do you think you can defeat them? It's not that the system is looking down on you, but with your current strength, you can't defeat an opponent who is much stronger than you. You can't deny this, right? Lin Ray was silent. He did not refute. The system was right. He did not have the ability to defeat an opponent who was much stronger than him. It might be possible in the divinity realm, but in the saint realm, a small stage was comparable to a large stage in the divinity realm. Thinking about it, Lin Ray raised his head and looked at Lu Shusheng. He was tempted. However, when he thought of Lu Shusheng's endless nagging, his desire was instantly extinguished by a basin of cold water. Seeing Lin Ray raise his head, Lu Shusheng asked, "What do you think? Is Xiao Dao's condition acceptable?" "Young master, I think what Lu Shusheng said might not be unreasonable." Ouyangzhen said. He knew that the flood dragon's cultivation was very strong. If he really went there with his current cultivation, he would not be able to return. Otherwise, he would not have handed over the position of the clan head to someone in the clan. Yes, look, even your little follower thinks so. With Xiao Dao, I guarantee you won't lose anything. Lu Shusheng tempted. What about Lin Ray? He was still silent. The main reason was that he could not stand Lu Shusheng's nagging. Sigh. Thinking of Ouyang Zhen's safety, the flood dragon's strength, the Sect's disciples, and the care of his family, he finally chose to compromise. Looking at Lu Shusheng, he smiled bitterly and shook his head. It's not that I can't bring you along, but I have a condition. If you agree, I'll bring you along. If you refuse, then I agree. Lu Shusheng interrupted Lin Ray's reply. Don't be in a hurry to agree. Lin Ray shook his head and dissuaded him. Then he told him his condition. It's very simple. On the way, you have to listen to me. The most important thing is silence. I need absolute silence. I can speak normally, but it can't be endless. That's the only condition. If you can fulfill it, everything is negotiable. Yes, this condition is very important. Ouyang nodded in agreement. Looking at the seriousness of the two, Lu Shusheng looked at them strangely. Then, he nodded and promised, "Don't worry, I'm a man of my word. I'll definitely fulfill your condition." "Okay, then let's follow." Lin Ray nodded. "If that's the case, you should tell me the information about the flood dragon, right?" Glancing at Lin Ray, Lu Shusheng nodded. "Okay." After saying this, Scholar Lu brought Ouyang's shoulder over. Then, he came to a clean rock and sat down. Unknowingly, a drumstick appeared in his hand. As he chewed, he mumbled, "The flood dragon, a great demon of the East Sea. Its cultivation is close to the great circle of the Earth Sage realm." Of course, this is only the information obtained 100 years ago. As for the recent 100 years, there seems to be no news about the flood dragon at all. It's as if it has disappeared. That's right, the flood dragon's aura has always been in that area. So, this information is quite accurate. Hearing this, Lin Ray's face turned serious. He was a little worried about this mission. To be honest, the flood dragon was a great circle of the Earth Sage realm. With his current strength, he would definitely be no match for the flood dragon in a one-on-one battle. However, given some time, he might have a 50% chance of killing the flood dragon in a killing formation. Of course, the prerequisite was that he had to lure the flood dragon into the killing formation. Otherwise, everything would be in vain. Just thinking about it made him feel very frustrated. Seeing that Lin Ray didn't speak, Lu Shusheng thought that Lin Ray was afraid. A hint of disappointment flashed across his eyes as he continued. "The area where the flood dragon is at is an island called Penglai. I heard that it's a celestial island left behind from ancient times. There's a very powerful, innate Dharma formation on the outside. Inside, there's a lot of natural treasures. The saint's spiritual chi there is much stronger than the outside world." "Penglai?" Lin Ray exclaimed. He knew about this island. On the aqua blue planet where he was born, Penglai was very famous. He also knew that Penglai was a celestial island from the Desolate Age. "Yes, Penglai. Therefore, the journey this time will not bode well for you," Lu Shusheng said. Hearing this, Ouyang Zhang's face fell. He felt sad. He didn't want to die yet. However, now that he had become Lin Ray's subordinate, he naturally couldn't do as he wished. You have to be careful in Penglai. If it's impossible, it's better to buy the necessary life-saving measures from the system before you go. After all, it's a place left behind from the Desolate Age. No one can guarantee how dangerous it is. What do you think? Lin Ray was speechless at the system's crazy temptation. He ignored the system and looked at Lu Shusheng. He said seriously, "Why are you following me? According to you, the journey this time will not bode well. Why are you willing to go with me? Are you not afraid of death?" Lu Shusheng seemed to know that Lin Ray was going to ask this question. Without hesitation, he replied, "I'm afraid. Of course I'm afraid. However, if I can see Penglai Island, it should be very exciting. As for the question of death, I'll leave it to fate. Our cultivation is against the will of the heavens. When we step into cultivation, we know that we have to be prepared to die at any time. Therefore, it doesn't matter." Chapter 1238. On the East Coast, Lu Shusheng followed Lin Ray in the end. Lin Ray agreed with what Lu Shusheng said. Cultivators were supposed to go against the heavens. As for life and death, when they decided to step on this path of no return, they were already destined to not have a smooth journey. On the East Coast, everyone stopped and looked at the boundless sea in front of them with a troubled expression. They had a good plan. They planned to fly directly to Penglai Island and join forces to kill the flood dragon. However, when they arrived at the East Coast, Lu Shusheng's words stunned Lin Ray. What about sailors? What about boats? Lin Ray did not think about these at all. After Lin Ray told him his plan, he felt that his previous decision was a little hasty. Entering the East Sea? Yes, they could fly forward, but the prerequisite was that they were not afraid of death. In the East Sea, demonic beasts roamed freely. There were countless Sage Realm demonic beasts, and even more Sage Realm demonic beasts. Flying? They would only expose themselves to the demonic beasts faster. On the other hand, although there was a certain chance of being exposed by taking a boat, it was so small that it was almost impossible. Looking at the vast East Sea, Lin Ray was ashamed and said, "I did not expect that there would be so many difficulties in entering the sea. I thought that as long as we flew, we could kill the flood dragon. I did not expect," saying that, Lin Ray shook his head helplessly. What made him even more helpless was that the boat could not enter the sea. It had to be the 10,000-year-old spiritual wood. This made Lin Ray even more troubled. An ordinary boat could do, but a 10,000-year-old spiritual would. This made Lin Ray a little. Looking at Lin Ray's appearance, Lu Shusheng was about to collapse. Why did he shamelessly follow this guy to Penglai Island? Wasn't he asking for trouble? As he spoke, he felt that his head was squeezed by a door, kicked by a donkey, and soaked in urine. Of course, it was too late to regret. Now that they had set off, how could they give up halfway? Looking at the two, Lu Shusheng was very annoyed. Then, he turned around and left after saying that. "I'm going to find a boat. You guys go too. Gather here in 6 hours." Lin Ray was speechless. Looking at Lu Shusheng's departing figure, Lin Ray was stunned for a moment. Then, he nodded and waved his hand at Ouyang Zhen. After that, he also went in a direction. Ouyang Zhen was left behind with a confused look on his face. Looking at the departing figures of the two, he felt extremely helpless in his heart. Following these two people was destined to be a menial existence in the future. Ding, side quest. Help Taoist Tian Quan concoct a wood concealment pill, and you will receive Taoist Tian Quan's wood spirit boat. Ding, side quest. Help Taoist Tian Quan concoct a wood emperor pill, and you will receive his support. You will be able to send his system to Penglai to help deal with the WIRM. Lin Ray, who was flying in search of a ship, suddenly heard 2 system notifications in his mind. His body staggered, and he almost fell from the sky. He looked ahead with a strange expression, and his heart was filled with shock. It was impossible not to be shocked. In the past, the system had given out missions, but they were all main missions. These side missions were not common. In fact, in the past few thousand years, the number of side missions could be counted with 2 hands. But he realized that ever since he entered the Holy Realm, and after the system had changed, the number of side missions had obviously increased. More importantly, every time a side mission appeared, it seemed to be based on the difficulties he encountered. This was incredible. Without a doubt, this was giving Linley an invisible hack. Ding, do you accept? Accept. Only a fool wouldn't accept this kind of mission. Lin Ray quickly replied. Indeed, he had encountered these 2 problems. One was the spirit boat, and the other was the WIRM. Now, with these 2 missions, he might not be able to pass them smoothly, but at least it would be a little smoother. Ding, checking in to accept the mission. Time limit, 1 month. If you exceed the quota, you will be rewarded with a chance to draw a prize. F***CK, the system is cheating. Lin Ray laughed. Let me clarify. The system itself is a cheat in this world. It is a cheat specially designed for the host. So, don't say such silly things in the future. It will drag down the host. Most importantly, the system will lose face. The system said mercilessly. In response to the system's words, Lin Ray did not refute. It was because there were too many good things happening today, and he was happy. Of course, he was happy. But the important question was, where was the Taoist Tian Quan mentioned in the mission? In this unfamiliar place, who could tell him who the Taoist Tian Quan was? After finding this place, his face turned bitter. He thought that this mission would be easy to complete, but now he felt that this mission was not as easy as he thought. As for the wood concealment pill and the wood royal pill, he knew how to refine these 2 pills. However, these 2 pills did not have much effect in his opinion. The function of the wood concealment pill was to help wood-type cultivators improve their affinity with the spiritual energy of heaven and earth around them. There is even a 1% chance that it would stimulate their wood-type spiritual roots and allow them to absorb the spiritual energy of heaven and earth around them better. As for the wood royal pill, this pill was even more useless. It was a healing pill that could heal injuries. However, it was tested on a very limited group of people. It was only suitable for women with wood-type spiritual roots. Moreover, only women with top-grade wood-type spiritual roots could take it. After taking it, as long as they still had a breath, they would be able to recover to their original state. Although it was useless, he remembered this pill because he saw that it could recover to its original state. Of course, although these two pills did not have much practical effect, their grades were not low. Both of these pills were 9th grade divine grade. They could even be considered half divine grade. However, they did not exceed the divine grade. Therefore, they were classified as 9th grade divine grade. So, seriously, is it so difficult to go out to the sea, kill some monsters, and improve my cultivation? I didn't see it so difficult when I was improving my cultivation in the past. Thinking about the speed of improving his cultivation in the past, he could not help but miss that feeling. Well, time could not be turned back. The only thing he could do now was to look forward and solve the obstacles in front of him one by one. For example, the problem he was facing now. Who was Taoist Tian Quan? Where was he? This was a serious problem. It was so serious that Lin Ray had the urge to mobilize the entire sect to find him. Little Tiger, help me look for him. If you meet any cultivators, ask them. Remember, don't act recklessly when you meet him. After you get information about Taoist Tian Quan, send me a voice transmission. I will reward you well. Got it. Oh, got it, Brother Lei. The red flame tiger nodded. It turned into a blood-red flowing light and disappeared in front of Lin Ray. Chapter 1239. Lin Ray did not stay idle. Seeing that the red flaming tiger had disappeared, he immediately released his divine sense. Everyone, everything, and everything within a radius of tens of thousands of miles appeared in Lin Ray's mind. In the east, 1,000 miles away from Lin Ray, Lu Shusheng was moving at a very fast speed. Looking at him, a smile appeared on his face. He communicated with Lu Shusheng using his divine sense. Shusheng, come back quickly. I have something to ask you. 1,000 miles away in the east, Lu Shusheng, who was flying at a fast speed, paused. He turned his head and looked in the direction of Lin Ray with a puzzled expression. Shouldn't he be trying his best to find the spirit ship at this time? Why is he calling me at this time? Although he was puzzled, he still moved his body and rushed in the direction of Lin Ray. This time, speed was more enjoyable. He did not want to, but every second mattered. He did not want to waste too much time on this matter. He wished that he was already in Penglai Island. Not long after, Lin Ray stopped. Seeing Lu Shusheng, he smiled and asked about Taoist Tian Quan. What? Taoist Tian Quan? He looked at Lin Ray strangely. He was very puzzled. Why would Lin Ray suddenly ask about Taoist Tian Quan? He knew Taoist Tian Quan. He was an earth sage and had a strange personality. How should he describe it? He was both good and evil. He was very difficult to get along with. Even cultivators of the same level would not be willing to deal with him. Taoist Tian Quan was a casual person. If someone provoked him, he would kill. Kill for the sake of killing. Do you know him? Looking at Lu Shusheng's shocked expression, Lin Ray knew that this guy must know him. If you know him, just tell me and introduce me. I want to find him. It's very important. It's about going out to sea and whether we can return safely after entering Penglai. Lu Shusheng was speechless. To be honest, Lu Shusheng did not believe it. He really could not figure out what Taoist Tian Quan had to do with them entering Penglai Island. However, after seeing Lin Ray's pleading eyes, Lu Shusheng finally compromised. He nodded and said, "Sure, I can help you, but the other party's personality is very strange. As for whether or not he will do anything to you when the time comes, that is none of my business. Sure. Help me find Taoist Tian Quan." Lin Ray cupped his hands and pleaded. Seeing Lin Ray's reaction, Lu Shusheng knew that the other party was very interested in this matter. Hence, he nodded in agreement. Let's go. I don't know if you're lucky or if it's arranged by the heavens. Tian Quanzi's place of seclusion is not far ahead, in a cave. However, according to reliable sources, there are many high-grade formations in front of the cave. Even if it's me, it's impossible for me to break through them, So, all right, hurry up and leave. As for the formation you mentioned, I'll deal with it when the time comes. You just need to send me to my destination. Hearing Lin Rei's words, Lu Shusheng felt a wave of disdain in his heart. He wanted to curse Lin Rei. Without saying anything, he brought Lin Rei through the sea of people and mountains according to the information he received. After half a day, they finally arrived at their destination. However, that's true. Speaking of which, the formations here are quite high grade. When they arrived, they could feel the aura of formations all around them. For a first-grade, saint-level formation grandmaster, the formations before them could be seen through with a single glance. There were quite a few formations here, but they weren't of very high quality. But of course, what Linley found interesting was that all of these formations had formed into an enormous protective formation. According to his calculations, this huge protective formation was at least a 9th-grade saint-level formation. However, because there were many killing formations and trapping formations, it was not a problem for a sage with a Dao fruit. However, unfortunately, the person Taoist Tian Quan encountered was Lin Rei, a freak who possessed a system, a first-grade saint-level formation grandmaster. These formations, in front of Linley, were like nothing. Staring at the entrance to the cave, Linley resolutely began to stride forward, intending to enter. Say, are you really going to go? A hand reached out from behind and grabbed Lin Rei's arm. It was as if he did not want Lin Rei to be in danger. Don't worry, I'm fine. He was determined to make this trip. He only wanted to complete his mission so that he could bring Taoist Tian Quan to Penglai to help him. He extended his hand and slapped Lu Shusheng's hand away. Then, he gave Lu Shusheng a reassuring glance. Then he took his first step. Suddenly, the moment he took his first step, the originally clear sky was suddenly covered with dark clouds. Thunder rumbled unceasingly. Rain began to fall uncontrollably, as if the heavens were weeping. A small summoning formation is nothing before this exalted. After saying that, he unleashed his first-grade saint-level aura. His spirit power instantly poured into the 6th-grade saint-level illusory formation. The formation structure was very obvious. Its function was the same as before, yin and yang, the 5 elements, and the 8 trigrams. One old-fashioned thing. You actually have the face to bring it out and make a fool of yourself. After saying that, he extended his hand. His Holy Spirit power condensed into a giant palm. He aimed it at the eastern side of the illusory formation and ruthlessly slapped it toward the edge of the formation. Bang! A muffled sound was heard. The weather that was originally filled with dark clouds and dark rain instantly changed. In the end, it disappeared, leaving behind only bright and beautiful sunlight and fresh air. It broke? He also saw the scene earlier. However, seeing that the formation was really broken, his anticipation for Lin Rei grew even stronger. A grade 9 divine artifact, a small toy that looked like a top, fell into Lin Rei's hand. Looking at it, Lin Rei reached out and grabbed it. After fiddling with it for a while, he finally decided to put it away. After taking his second step, the scenery in front of him changed again. Lin Rei expressed his helplessness. When he thought of the number of times he had followed the formation, his scalp went numb. It was too much, really too much. It was so much that Lin Rei felt that he could not accept it all. However, at this moment, he did not have the time to think about it. Now, the scenery changed again, and the murderous aura around him became even stronger. Killing formation? Knowing the type of formation, Lin Rei sat down cross-legged. His spirit power communicated with the formation's runes, and then he began to break it. The key to breaking the formation lay in the formation's eye. Of course, there was another way to break the formation. Although it was rough to break it with force, it was very direct. Of course, most people would use brute force to break through. After all, not everyone was as skilled as Linley in the art of formations. It's really here. In Lin Rei's mind, the formation's rune diagram before him appeared in his mind. ZZZ, ZZZ. An ear-piercing sound was heard. What entered his eyes was a 2-finger-wide formation. Its entire body was covered with lightning, and it was very oppressive. It was as if it was a natural-born emperor. Meteor thunder. Chapter 1240. That's right. It's a quasi-sacred weapon. It's fused with the Thunder Origin Stone. Although it's only a quasi-sacred weapon, it's obviously stronger than a first-grade sacred weapon. Really? The system's words made Lin Ray's hair stand on end. However, judging from the pressure, it was indeed as strong as the first-grade sacred weapon that he forged. Believe it or not, the system couldn't be bothered with Lin Ray. After saying that, it disappeared. Looking at the meteor lightning in front of him, Lin Ray's interest was piqued. He took a step forward and walked towards the meteor lightning. In the outside world, Lu Shuxing looked at Lin Ray's departing figure, and his heart skipped a beat. Before the new year, he couldn't guarantee that he would be able to break the formation. Even if he entered the formation, he would only be able to maintain it and not destroy it. As long as he didn't die, everything would be fine. As for breaking the formation or breaking through it, he didn't have such thoughts. Looking at Lin Ray's back, Lu Shuxing stopped. He knew that he would only be a burden if he followed him. It was better for him to stay where he was and wait for Lin Ray to break the formation before he made his move. With that thought in mind, he retreated from the spell formation and found a clean spot outside. He sat down cross-legged, and a table appeared. Plates of cooked meat and fine wine appeared, and he began to gorge himself on the food. It was truly a sight to behold. F*CK. Hearing the voice behind him, Lin Ray turned his head. When he saw the scene, he had an inexplicable impulse to rush out and hang Lu Shuxing up and beat him up. As time passed, the impulse became stronger. If it wasn't for the formation, he would have already taken action. Brat, just you wait. When I'm free, I'll beat you to the ground. If I don't, I won't be surnamed Lin. At this moment, Lin Ray arrived in front of the meteor lightning. He turned his head angrily and looked at the meteor lightning again. A strange light flashed in his eyes. He reached out his hand and grabbed the sword hilt. Zzz. Suddenly, a surge of lightning surged on the longsword. In an instant, the longsword was passively activated. Lightning flashed and filled the entire array. Lin Ray's palm, then his arm, and finally his entire shoulder. The back of his body, his internal organs, and his lower body began to invade Lin Ray's body. It was as if the meteor had its own position. It didn't like the feeling of being controlled by others, so it was resisting. It didn't want to leave this place. Do you think you can escape from this sovereign's palm? He laughed coldly. Clearly, he had expected the meteor lightning's resistance, so he wasn't surprised at all. Cut the crap. Hurry up and erase the imprint on the meteorite so that you can refine it. Then, let's move on. You should know that there are so many real ones in front of you. If you want to touch them one by one, the workload will be very large. The system's voice sounded. Lin Ray came back to his senses and reacted. He nodded and looked at Yunlei. Don't worry. I'm confident that I can deal with weapons. Having said that, he raised his other hand, and the illusory spirit blood fire rushed out. Then he slapped his palm with the illusory spirit blood fire on the hilt of the fallen thundersword. Boom! In the next moment, the illusory spirit blood fire covered Yun Lei's entire body. Spiritual power surged out and rushed into the meteor lightning. In an instant, it found the imprint on the meteorite. Little thing, you're going to be mine soon. Behave. Having said that, he used both his spiritual power and spiritual power to attack the imprint on the sword. Not far away, in a cave, an old man with snow-white hair and a white beard opened his eyes. He looked in front of him, a trace of surprise flashing through his eyes. Who was it that entered this lord's array and even broke the array that this lord had set up? Needless to say, that person was Taoist Tian Quan, the person Lin Ray had been looking for. Taoist Tian Quan's heart ached when he felt that the imprint on the meteor lightning sword had been broken in an instant. Bastard, not only did you break my formation, you even dared to have designs on my treasure. Do you really think I'm dead? Thinking about that, his face became gloomy. He had originally been annoyed by the stagnation of his cultivation. Now that something like this had happened, how could he endure it? Moreover, Taoist Tian Quan did not care about his reputation. The more he thought about it, the more uncomfortable he felt. He stopped cultivating, got up, and walked slowly towards the entrance of the cave. He wanted to see who dared to have designs on him. In the cave, Lin Rei did not know what Taoist Tian Quan was doing. At that moment, Lin Rei had naturally engraved his spiritual imprint on the meteor lightning sword. Under the refinement of the illusory spirit blood fire, the meteor lightning sword was closer to a divine weapon. However, due to the lack of materials, it could not break through. What a pity! Looking at the meteor lightning that was about to break through, the system could not help but sigh. Yes, what a pity! This time, Lin Rei did not refute it. Instead, he nodded in agreement, his eyes full of pity. If there was a heavenly treasure of the lightning attribute, I would be able to make it a divine weapon in an instant. Unfortunately, I do not have any heavenly treasure of the lightning attribute, so looking at the meteor lightning sword, he said regretfully, "Wait. After I'm done with this, I will definitely find a heavenly treasure of the lightning attribute for you to become a divine weapon of the lightning attribute." Wong. The sword vibrated violently, as if it had heard Lin Rei's voice. It reacted as if it had been waiting for him. Very good. Although the sword's level was low, he liked the style and attributes of the sword very much. Then he put the sword into the system to nurture the meteor lightning and make it more spiritual. After doing all this, Lin Li's mood was exceptionally good. In the outside world, Lu Shusheng didn't know what was going on. If he knew, he would definitely be crying and thanking Lin Li. Even if Lin Li tried to chase him away, he wouldn't have the slightest intention of leaving. Who would not want to possess a heavenly treasure of the lightning attribute? This was especially true for a miser like him who loved money as much as his life. Then, when he saw these things, his eyes would definitely shine. Taking a step forward, he continued onward. It was no exaggeration to say that every step in this place was a formation, a trap. As soon as this formation was broken, another formation would appear as soon as he took a step forward. Furthermore, judging from the energy fluctuations of the formations, the heavenly treasure of the lightning attribute was a heavenly treasure of the lightning attribute. That's fine. If I continue to keep them, I won't have to go to other places to look for cultivation resources to feed my disciples. Just thinking about it made Lin Rei very excited. Thus, his motivation soared. He was ready to go all out. Come, my darlings. At this moment, Lin Rei had transformed into a wretched-looking young man. In an instant, he rushed toward the heavenly treasure of the lightning attribute. He extended his hand and prepared to put the heavenly treasure of the lightning attribute into his hand. Who are you, little thief? How dare you act so wantonly in my territory? Chapter 1241. The sudden voice startled Lin Li, who was just about to snatch the natural treasures. He stood there in a daze, 1 foot in the air. Raising his head, he stared in the direction of the voice. In the distance, an old man appeared. Lin Li laughed. I thought you wouldn't come out. I didn't expect you to be so impatient. Lin Rei didn't intend to hide the truth. After all, when he was refining the meteoric lightning, the soul imprint in the meteoric lightning belonged to Taoist Tian Quan. How could Taoist Tian Quan, who was the original body, not feel the destruction of the soul imprint? However, in Lin Rei's opinion, since he was willing to use so many treasures to set up the array, 1 or 2 of them wouldn't hurt him at all. But now he was wrong. This Taoist Tian Quan was most likely a miser like Scholar Lu. Wasn't it just a sword that was a quasi-saint tool? Was there a need for him to do it personally? Of course, there were pros and cons. The pros were that he had met Taoist Tian Quan, and his mission was about to begin. After all, a month's time might seem long, but it would pass in the blink of an eye. The cons were that there were so many treasures in front of him. Now, he didn't have a good reason to plunder them. This made him very annoyed. In the outside world, Scholar Lu, who was drinking wine, naturally heard Taoist Tian Quan's voice. However, the moment he heard the voice, he fled into the distance. In his opinion, it was better not to provoke such a strong person with a bad temper. Lin Rei didn't care about that. At this moment, all his attention was on Taoist Tian Quan. After regaining his senses, he landed on the ground and smiled. He cupped his hands and bowed. "Fellow Taoist, I'm Lin Ray. I'm here to pay you a visit." Taoist Tian Quan was stunned. The corner of his mouth twitched, and he was filled with disdain. "Damn it, just pay me a visit. Is there need to touch my treasures?" As he thought about it, he smiled and replied, "Fellow Taoist Lin, why are you here? I was just thinking that we aren't familiar with each other. Moreover," as he spoke, he looked at the destroyed array formation and felt a pang in his heart. There are different ways to pay a visit, but fellow Taoist method of paying a visit is truly too much for me to handle. To put it bluntly, the slightest bit meant that he had to take out the natural treasures he had just obtained, and this matter would be settled. However, Taoist Tian Quan did not understand Lin Ray. Anything that entered Lin Ray's pocket would become Lin Ray's surname. Therefore, it was impossible for him to take it out. Lin Ray naturally understood Taoist Tian Quan's words. However, sometimes he had to pretend that he didn't know anything. "Haha, I was being rude. Since fellow Taoist has shown up, why don't fellow Taoist release the formation and let me have a chat? Otherwise, I'll have to break them one by one. That's quite troublesome. F***CKU. Looking at Lin Ray, Taoist Tian Quan felt like eating him alive. He had already expressed his intentions so clearly. Why didn't fellow Taoist Tian Quan exchange the treasures back? Why did you do all these useless things for me? Now you're doing great. If I don't stay here, are you going to rob this place of mine?" Thinking about it, Taoist Tian Quan felt angry and helpless. From the fact that he was forced to set up the formation, it was obvious that this person before him was an expert in formations. With that thought, the smile on his face did not change. With a wave of his hand, a brilliant token appeared above the formation. A golden light flashed, and in the next moment, the originally activated formation stopped working. At least you know what's good for you." He sneered and walked towards Taoist Tian Quan. However, he hoped that Taoist Tian Quan would turn around and leave. After all, he was very interested in these natural treasures. He walked in front of Taoist Tian Quan and said, "Fellow Taoist, I've long heard that you have an amazing cultivation base. Now it seems that your cultivation base is not only impressive, but you also have a rich foundation. You really make me envious. Lin Ray felt a wave of helplessness. He did not expect that he would blurt out what he was thinking. At that moment, Taoist Tian Quan was stunned and dumbfounded. "So you're really interested in my treasures?" Thinking about it, he became vigilant. As an expert in formations, he had to take good care of his formations. Otherwise, the treasures inside would be taken away. He had accumulated those treasures over tens of thousands of years after he became famous. Thinking about it, Taoist Tian Quan regained his composure and hurriedly stretched out his hand. "Come, let's go to my cave abode." After saying that, he turned around and led the way into the cave abode. He did not dare to lead the way outside. Who knew if this guy would request to break through the formation or experience it? However, Taoist Tian Quan was right. He really wanted to use some excuse to get a few more heavenly materials and earthly treasures from the formation. Or maybe he could get some divine weapons or quasi-divine weapons of better quality. Looking at Taoist Tian Quan's departing figure, Lin Ray smiled helplessly. He suppressed his thoughts and followed him. Along the way, Lin Ray saw many good things that were of great value. He had to admit that Taoist Tian Quan was really enjoying himself. Those who did not know would think that Taoist Tian Quan was cultivating in the cave. Those who knew would naturally be envious. When they arrived at the cave abode, the two of them sat down under Taoist Tian Quan's guidance. They looked at each other, and Taoist Tian Quan asked the question in his heart. "Fellow Taoist, why did you come here?" He did not believe the official words of this person in front of him, such as "I've admired you for a long time," or some other nonsense. "I've admired you for a long time, yet you want to touch my things?" Glancing at Taoist Tian Quan, Lin Ray didn't try to hide anything. He told Taoist Tian Quan the reason for his visit. After a long time, after listening to Lin Ray's story, Taoist Tian Quan was shocked. He despised Lin Ray in his heart. If you want my spirit ship, I can still consider it. After all, although a spirit ship is good, it's not that precious. But Taoist Tian Quan paused for a moment and then continued. Peng Lai is not a place where you can go just because you want to. Also, according to what I know, this flood dragon seems to be planning to break through to the heavenly sage realm. Tell me, do you want me to go with you? Is that okay? To be honest, he was afraid. After all, the flood dragon's strength was immeasurable. No one could guarantee how safe it would be. Lin Ray was not disheartened by Taoist Tian Quan's answer. He had already thought of this. He smiled and said, "Fellow Taoist, I have wood emperor pills and wood concealment pills. As long as you agree to these two conditions, I can refine as many wood emperor pills and wood concealment pills for you. Of course, that includes other pills." Chapter 1242. Taoist Tian Quan was shocked. His previously calm Tao heart was no longer as calm as it had been when Linley said those two names. His mental state had been shattered. Taoist Tian Quan's expression was one that Linley had expected. Looking at him, Linley's interest was piqued. He then promised, "Fellow Taoist, agree to my previous request. Would Emperor Pill and would Concealment Pill. I can give you both of them. Elixirs, weapons, arrays, talismans. You can have anything you want. Even Saint artifacts are fine. As I said before, agree to my request and give me the spiritual wooden boat. You can accompany me to Peng Lai and help me slay the flood dragon. This is a mutually beneficial matter. Fellow Taoist, you should know how to make a choice." After saying that, Lin Ray drank his tea unhurriedly and waited for Taoist Tian Quan's response. He believed that Taoist Tian Quan had no reason to reject him no matter what he said. Although he didn't know why Taoist Tian Quan wanted the two elixirs, he was sure that Taoist Tian Quan needed them. Otherwise, the system wouldn't have given him such a thankless task. Unless the system was bored out of its mind. Taoist Tian Quan looked at Lin Ray with a complicated expression. He wanted to know how the person in front of him knew about the two elixirs he wanted and was so sure about it. During this period of time, he had indeed been collecting the materials for the two elixirs from all over the Holy World. However, every time he did that, he would change his location. Even if someone noticed it, they wouldn't be able to tell him what he needed so accurately. Moreover, Lin Ray wasn't simple. If he could promise Saint artifacts, how could they be simple? Thinking about it, Taoist Tian Quan felt like he was seen through. It was as if he was naked in front of Lin Ray. He was very unhappy, but he couldn't do anything about it. He didn't need the wood emperor pill and wood concealment pill. So, all right, I can agree to your request. However, can you tell me who knows how to refine the elixirs? Lin Ray put down his teacup and looked at Taoist Tian Quan in surprise. His father understood what he meant. It's like this. He seemed to understand Lin Ray's confusion and immediately explained, "I need the wood emperor pill and the wood concealing pill. However, I need something else. These two pills can save my wife's life. If you have a saint-grade alchemist, please come out and help me take a look at my wife. See if you can think of another way." Your wife? Lin Ray was dumbfounded. He had thought that Taoist Tian Quan would consume it for himself. He had been wondering why Taoist Tian Quan would use these two useless pills. Now that he heard this, all his doubts were cleared up. Yes. At this point, Taoist Tian Quan's expression darkened, and a pained expression flashed across his face as though he had encountered something painful. "Can you tell me?" This. Taoist Tian Quan was stunned for a moment before he regained his senses and nodded helplessly. All right. With that, Taoist Tian Quan began to talk about what his wife had encountered. After a long time, Lin Ray finished listening to Taoist Tian Quan's wife's story. 6 hours had passed. Just like that, my wife fell into a coma, and there are still no signs of her waking up. With that, a teardrop flowed from Taoist Tian Quan's eyes and slid down his cheek. At this moment, Lin Ray understood why Taoist Tian Quan needed these two pills. In fact, the matter was very simple and could be summarized in a few words. Taoist Tian Quan's wife Ouyang Shui, was the youngest daughter of the Ouyang family in the Aeon domain. As she was in love with Taoist Tian Quan, she ignored her family's objections and fled with him. Unexpectedly, they met a disciple of the heavenly court who was engaged to Ouyang Shui. In the end, the two of them fought. Ouyang Shui blocked a fatal blow for Taoist Tian Quan during the battle. Although she died, she fell into a deep coma. Under the endless pursuit, Taoist Tian Quan's cultivation increased rapidly. Although he was still unable to fight against the heavenly court and the Ouyang family, he was still able to protect himself. After coming to the Yellow region, he found an alchemist to treat his injuries. The conclusion given was that he could recover with the Wood Emperor pill and the Wood Concealment pill, which led to the current situation. However, Lin Rei heard something different. Why was Ouyang Shui in a coma? She had been in a coma for more than 100,000 years. Lin Rei was puzzled by the fact that she only needed a divine-level pill to wake her up. Lin Rei remained silent. Taoist Tian Quan did not speak. The whole place fell into a dead silence. No one spoke. Seeing Lin Rei's expression turn uglier, the little bit of hope in Taoist Tian Quan's heart began to extinguish. How is it, fellow Taoist, can you? Lin Rei came back to his senses and looked at Taoist Tian Quan with a serious expression. Fellow Taoist, can I go to your wife's place to investigate? The sudden words stunned Taoist Tian Quan. Then, he came back to his senses. Although he was puzzled, he still nodded. He did not know why he agreed, but he felt that Tindo was guiding him. Sure, if that's the case, please follow me. He got up and walked slowly to a wall. Taoist Tian Quan formed a complicated hand seal. After the hand seal was formed, the wall began to change. This guy he's involved in a lot of things. Looking at the changes in the wall, he felt that this was a F** king array. Moreover, the eye of the array was very precious. Soon, the wall opened up and a door appeared in front of the two. After doing all this, Taoist Tian Quan did not speak again. He walked in with a heavy and tired back. Lin Li followed behind. The moment they entered the cave, a gust of cold air rushed out. What entered their eyes was a world of ice. If it was someone with a lower cultivation, the moment they entered this place, they would probably be instantly killed by the cold. Lin Rei did not speak. He followed Taoist Tian Quan into the depths of the cave. Soon, a cave the size of a football field appeared. In the middle of the cave, there was a bed. A beautiful woman was lying on the bed. F***CK, this is Taoist Tian Quan's wife. Looking at the woman lying on the ice bed, Lin Rei was stunned. Not because of anything else, but because this woman was really beautiful. She was like a fairy. Looking at Taoist Tian Quan's wretched appearance, it was a clear comparison. Fellow Taoist, this is my wife, Ouyang Shui. Taoist Tian Quan, who was frozen in front of the bed, said, "Oh, good." Lin Rei went forward and looked at the woman on the bed. His brows were tightly knitted. Just from observing from afar, he could feel that this woman could not be saved with just two types of pills. F***CK. This is... Lin Rei exclaimed. His eyes widened as he looked at the bed where Ouyang Shui was lying. His expression changed again. Ice condensate. This is ice condensate. Chapter 1243. Can we put aside the ice condensate liquid for now? My wife hasn't woken up yet. Have you considered my feelings by doing this? Lin Rei scratched his head awkwardly. Then, he looked at Ouyang Shui with a serious expression. He stretched out his hand, and the saint's spiritual qi gathered in his palm. He placed his palm on Ouyang Shui's shoulder. Suddenly, the saint's spiritual qi seemed to have found a vent and rushed into Ouyang Shui's body. Closing his eyes, his mental energy surged into Ouyang Shui's body. The saint's spiritual qi flowed through Ouyang Shui's meridians and bones. How can this be? The saint's spiritual qi flowed normally. He didn't find anything uncomfortable in Ouyang Shui's body. Her meridians and organs were as good as new. But why Lin Rei was puzzled. He didn't give up just because he didn't find anything. His mental energy surged again. One had to know that Lin Rei's mental energy was very strong. Even Taoist Tian Quan couldn't compare to him. Lin Rei's mental energy slowly flowed through Ouyang Shue's body. Her body was perfectly fine. If that's the case, suddenly, Lin Rei thought of a possibility. In the next moment, Lin Rei moved. He wanted to confirm his guess. His mental energy surged into Ouyang Shue's pill palace. Her body was perfectly fine. There was only the pill palace and the spirit ocean. Bang! A muffled sound came from Ouyang Shue's body. In the pill palace, Lin Rei was in front of a word that looked like a snake mark. His heart trembled. Just a moment ago, Lin Rei was about to check everything. However, the golden snake mark shone brightly and bounced back the mental energy that Lin Rei wanted to check. Damn, it's not simple, he muttered to himself. To be able to bounce back his mental energy, it must be extraordinary. It must be very strong. Thinking about it, he communicated with the system. System, check what this thing is and why I can bounce back my mental energy. Ding! The system is investigating. Please wait for a moment. Lin Rei heaved a sigh of relief when he heard the system's voice. Then, he arrived at Ouyang Shue's deity ocean. However, what made Lin Rei's face turn ugly was that there was also a golden snake tattoo in her deity ocean. There must be a reason for this abnormality. Now that both the Pill Palace and the Divine Sea have this item, it seems that this matter is not simple. At this moment, Lin Rei was certain that Ouyang Shue's current state had something to do with the two golden snake tattoos. Otherwise, she wouldn't have awakened while her entire body was in perfect condition. Ding! The sound of the system notification rang out. Lin Rei quivered and instantly woke up. He pricked up his ears and stopped. Ding! Heavenly Court's secret technique, soul sealing seal. After being sealed, the person sealed would be as if in a coma. Only by undoing this technique would they be able to wake up. Heavenly Court? Soul sealing, soul locking seal. The system's words proved that his thoughts were correct. However, he did not earn it. This was planted by the Heavenly Court. He retracted his mental strength and returned to his body. He raised his head and looked at Taoist Tian Quan with a helpless and pitiful expression. Because of an alchemist, he went around searching for the ingredients for two types of elixirs. Now it was useless. What did he think? Thinking about it, he shook his head. Although he felt helpless, he decided to tell Taoist Tian Quan the truth. After all, he had the right to know. Fellow Taoist, can you be direct? Taoist Tian Quan seemed to have felt Lin Rei's pitiful gaze and spoke. Looking at him, Lin Rei did not hide anything and said, Fellow Taoist, I just checked and can give you two things, one bad and one good. Speak human language. Taoist Tian Quan rolled his eyes at Lin Rei. All right. The first bad thing is that you know that the ingredients for the two types of elixirs are completely useless. Even if you give fellow Taoist Ouyang both types of pill tattoo, it will still be useless. What? Taoist Tian Quan was dumbfounded. He heard it clearly, but he could not accept the truth. Thinking back to the hundreds of thousands of years of hard work he had put in, a single sentence from Lin Li had destroyed all of his hopes. How could he accept this? For so many years, the only reason he could live well was because of Ouyang Shui. Previously, he had only seen Ouyang Shue's alchemist. All these years, the only reason he was alive was to find the Wood Emperor elixir and would concealment elixir to save his wife. But now Lin Rei saw Taoist Tian Quan's despair clearly. He seemed to see his past self in Taoist Tian Quan. Back then, he used the illusory spirit blood fire to burn Taoist Tian Quan in 9 Nether Sacred Mountain. You had been holding on and believing everything was real. But in the end, you were told that everything was fake. All your hopes were instantly destroyed. That was the most painful feeling. Sigh. He sighed and then told Taoist Tian Quan another piece of news. The good news is that this illness is not incurable. Can be cured. Taoist Tian Quan, who was about to go berserk due to his despair, came back to his senses. He raised his head and a glimmer of hope flashed in his eyes. Yes, indeed. This is not an illness. Do you still remember the people from the Heavenly Court that you met on the way? Yes, I remember. Taoist Tian Quan nodded. That's right. He nodded and continued. Taoist Ouyang is not sick at all. She was just implanted with the heavens' secret skill, soul-sealing seal. That's why Taoist Ouyang is trapped. Taoist Tian Quan's face turned gloomy when he heard the words heavenly court. He muttered to himself, heavenly court, soul-sealing seal. After roaming the holy world for so many years, he had heard of the soul-sealing seal. This cultivation technique was extremely evil and disgusting. But he did not expect that his wife would be treated like this one day. Knowing the soul-sealing seal, he naturally knew the requirements to remove it. But the heavenly court was huge. It was impossible to get the method from them. He could only look for other methods. Not bad. This mentality, seeing Taoist Tianquan calm down, he could not help but feel a little comforted. Ding! To remove the soul-sealing seal, the materials required are 1 heart of a flood dragon, 1,000,000 years ice condensate, 500,000 years sky spirit water spirit. One by one, the materials were listed out by the system. Lin Ray was stunned. The method to remove the soul-sealing seal? Weren't these the things he needed now? And the heart of a flood dragon? Even if he did not do it, Taoist Tian Quan would do it. After all, he was willing to do anything for his wife. There were a total of 56 heavenly treasures. It might be easy to find them in the beginning, but the remaining ones gave Lin Ray a headache. System, is there a way to let Ouyang Shui regain her consciousness? After all, Taoist Tian Quan has to believe me if I say so. Ding! Yes. Chapter 1244. With 1/10 of the little dragon's soul power, it can help Ouyang Shui suppress the effect of the soul-sealing seal temporarily. Of course, this effect can only be suppressed for a short period of time. It won't be very obvious. Oh, Lin Ray hesitated. After all, he had to use 1/10 of the little dragon's soul power as the price. He couldn't bear it and was even more worried about the little dragon's condition. Don't worry. 1/10 of the soul power is nothing to the little dragon. As long as you buy a heavenly soul grass for the little dragon, it will be able to recover and even be stronger than before. Great. It's recommending it to me. He understood the system's intention. It was nothing more than making him spend the exchange points. Of course, he could give it a try. After all, he could complete the mission faster and get the crystal core later. Thinking about it, Lin Ray nodded. All right, since that's the case, then swoosh. Before Lin Ray could finish, the shop appeared in front of Lin Ray. On the shop interface, there was a row of high-grade items. The first one was the heavenly soul grass. Damn, is there a need to be so excessive? It can't be helped. Who asked the host to need it? The system's job is to satisfy all the host's needs. So, this is nothing. Lin Ray couldn't refute. All right, you're the system. You have the right. I don't have the ability. After looking at the heavenly soul grass in disdain, Lin Ray was shocked when he saw the price of the heavenly soul grass. 30 million? Lin Ray cried. It was just a grass, and it cost 30 million. He had just returned 30 million. Now this grass was wasted. Ding! Host, do you want to buy the heavenly soul grass? The system's notification made Lin Ray's heart tremble. To be honest, he wanted to say that he didn't need it. But when the words came to his mouth, he couldn't say it. Because he really needed it. He really needed it. Thinking of the huge sum of 30 million, Lin Ray's heart was bleeding. Ding! Host, do you want to spend 30 million to buy the heavenly soul grass? The system's notification sounded again. Bye. He closed his eyes, gritted his teeth, and stamped his feet. The moment he said bye, Lin Ray felt as if a heavy burden had been lifted from his shoulders. Ding! Congratulations to Host on obtaining heavenly soul grass. Ding! Host has spent 30 million exchange points to purchase heavenly soul grass. Ding! The heavenly soul herb has been placed into the storage ring. Host, please check it yourself. Ding! The host has spent 30 million in the form of debt. Now the host owes 160 million. Listening to the system's notifications, Lin Ray felt a headache coming on, especially when he heard the final amount of the debt. Lin Ray felt even more helpless. Host, don't worry. Today's expenses are for the sake of future strength. Go all out. The system will always be the strongest backing for the host. Lin Ray was speechless. Lin Ray believed it. If it wasn't for the fact that I was spending money, he might have really believed that the system was telling the truth. All right, stop talking nonsense with me. Hurry up and inform the little dragon to come out. After saying that, Lin Ray returned to his original body and looked at Taoist Tian Quan. He smiled and said, "Fellow Taoist, although Taoist Ouyang has been sealed by the heavenly court, I have a way to let him regain his consciousness temporarily." Of course, just in case, Lin Ray didn't want to be careless. He quickly explained, "This kind of recovery won't last long. Maybe 3 days, maybe a month, maybe 1 day. So, fellow Taoist, you're serious?" Taoist Tian Quan was shocked and excited. He waited expectantly for Lin Ray's confirmation. "Yes, I'm sure." Seeing Lin Ray's confirmation, Taoist Tian Quan was relieved. However, he knew that this kind of recovery would only be temporary. Even so, it was good to be able to wake up for a while. After all, this could prove that his wife wasn't dead. Thinking about that, Taoist Tian Quan took a step back. Lin Ray bowed deeply and said gratefully, "Fellow Taoist, I can't thank you enough. If this matter is really guaranteed, I'll go through the wind and rain. Even if I have to climb a mountain of swords or plunge into a pot of boiling oil, I'll still succeed." Lin Ray smiled. He was very satisfied with Taoist Tian Quan's guarantee. At least the 30 million was not wasted. However, when he thought of the real antidote, Lin Li's face turned solemn. His face turned solemn. "Fellow Taoist, this is only temporary. However, to really solve this problem, the main ingredient is the flood dragon's heart. So, this time, the trip to Punlai is not just to help me. It's to find the ingredient for your wife." That was indeed the case. Originally, he wanted to ask for Taoist Tian Quan's help. Now, it seemed that he didn't need to waste so much effort. After all, to solve the soul-sealing seal, he had to go to Punlai. Taoist Tian Quan was startled. Then, he came back to his senses. From Lin Ray's eyes, he didn't see any hidden meaning. He knew that this might be true. "Fellow Taoist, don't worry. As long as Schwerer can wake up and completely come into contact with the soul-sealing seal, I'll go to the heavenly court to destroy it without hesitation." Looking at Taoist Tian Quan's expression, Lin Ray nodded and didn't say anything else. Now, the most important thing was to get the flood dragon's heart. As for the rest of the ingredients, they could wait until they got the flood dragon's heart. "Kid, let's begin." Little Dragon's voice suddenly appeared and occupied Lin Ray's mind. Suddenly, Lin Ray's expression froze. He nodded. "Fellow Taoist, please go out for a while. I'm going to start suppressing the soul-sealing seal," Lin Ray said. His words left no room for doubt. Do I have to leave?" Tian Quan was a little reluctant. It wasn't that he doubted Lin Ray, but he wanted to see his wife the moment she woke up. "You have to leave," Lin Ray said firmly. "All right, then, I'll leave you behind." After saying that, he bowed to Lin Ray and turned around to enter the cave residence. He went to the place where he was in seclusion and waited quietly. At this moment, there was no one in the cave residence. Little Dragon appeared from a system. After seeing Ouyang Shuel lying on the ice condensate, it immediately understood what to do. Without wasting any time, it raised its hand, and a stream of pure soul energy instantly entered Ouyang Shue's body. It started to fight against the soul-sealing seal in Ouyang Shue's Pill Palace and Deity Ocean. In the outside world, looking at the little dragon's serious expression and the continuous flow of soul energy into Ouyang Shue's body, he felt an inexplicable sense of guilt. Sigh. Following a demonic person like me is really making him cry. He sighed in his heart. Then, he threw it to the back of his mind and became serious. Time passed little by little. In the blink of an eye, 3 days had passed. In 3 days, the little dragon still had no intention of stopping. Regarding this, Lin Ray became even more nervous. Ding! Reminder to the host. There are still 21 days before the completion of the mission. The host must hurry up. Otherwise, if the mission fails, the host will have to pay the price. Chapter 1245. F***CK. I forgot about that. Although Taoist Tian Quan had no use for the Wood Emperor pill and Wood Concealment pill now, the system had given him a task. Even if he did not need them now, the system did not remove the task. Thinking that there were still more than 20 days left, Lin Rei asked the little dragon, "How much longer until Ouyang Shui wakes up?" 15 days. He's been in a deep sleep for too long. After 15 days, he will only have 30 days to recover. After 30 days, he will fall into a coma again. At that time, we will need the real antidote. And this method is no longer feasible. Hearing this, Lin Rei waved his hand indifferently and said, "It doesn't matter as long as he wakes up." "Oh, right." As he spoke, he took out the heavenly soul herb from his storage ring and handed it to the little dragon. This is the heavenly soul herb. It can restore the power of the soul. You should know that. Heavenly soul herb. Looking at the heavenly soul herb in front of him, the little dragon was surprised. After all, this kind of spiritual herb that could restore the power of the soul was not cheap. Hurry up and keep it. When this is over, quickly refine the heavenly soul herb. Don't let anything go wrong. Having said that, he turned and walked away. He did not have the materials for the 2 elixirs, so he could only ask Taoist Tian Quan for them. Looking at Lin Rei's back, the little dragon smiled. Then he collected his thoughts and focused on the task. In the outside world, Taoist Tian Quan did not have the slightest intention to cultivate. He was like an ant on a hot pan, as if he was on pins and needles. Fellow Taoist? His eyes were fixed on the door of the room. Suddenly, he saw Lin Rei's figure. Tian Quan was stunned. He came back to his senses and came to Lin Rei's side in a flash. His puzzled gaze made Lin Rei feel helpless. "All right, your wife hasn't woken up yet. At least 15 days. This time, fellow Taoist Ouyang will wake up for 30 days. Cherish it. When fellow Taoist Ouyang wakes up again, the soul's sealing seal will be completely removed." Really? Really? Taoist Tian Quan was agitated. It had been hundreds of thousands of seconds, hundreds of thousands of years, and he had persevered. Now, his wish had finally come true. "Really? However, you have to give me the ingredients for the Wood Concealment pill and Wood Emperor pill. I will refine these 2 pills during this period of time. Who knows, they might be useful in the future." After saying that, he stretched out his hand in a demanding manner. Tian Quan was dumbfounded. However, on second thought, it wasn't a bad thing. He immediately handed over the refining materials of the 2 kinds of pills to Lin Rei. After obtaining the alchemy materials, Lin Rei returned to his room and sat down cross-legged to begin refining. In the blink of an eye, half a month had passed. The little dragon and Lin Rei did not interfere with each other. Lin Rei refined his pills while the little dragon was in charge of treating Ouyang Shui. Finally suppressed, the little dragon opened his eyes. A sharp glint flashed across his eyes. He retracted his hand and looked at Lin Rei, who was refining the pills behind him. A smile appeared on his face. Then, he disappeared and returned to the system. The heavenly soul grass appeared in his hand. Looking at it, the little dragon did not hesitate and sat down cross-legged to refine it. Ding! A crisp sound rang in the outside world. Lin Rei, who was sitting cross-legged, immediately withdrew the illusory spirit blood fire in his hand. Whoosh! A green pill that was full of vitality broke through the air. It looked like it was going to break out of the cave and fly away. "Oomph! I created you. Where do you think you are going? Come here." Looking at the pill, Lin Rei's face sank. He stretched out his hand and a suction force flashed. The pill returned uncontrollably to Lin Rei's hand. The Wood Emperor pill is finally refined. Looking at the Longan-like pill in his hand, a gratified smile appeared on his face. "It really wasn't easy. I finally refined it." After 15 days, he finally completed it. If other alchemists in the holy world heard Lin Ray's words, they would probably want to die. One had to know how difficult it was to refine a quasi-sage pill. Not to mention 15 days, it would be good if they could refine one pill in 3 months, let alone 2. Little Dragon, just as he was about to raise his head to speak, he saw that the room was empty. There was only Ouyang Shuel lying on the bed. It's done? Linley was surprised, but when he thought about it, it made sense. 15 days, no more, no less. It was perfect. Thinking about it, he immediately entered the system. When he came to the space where the little dragon was, he saw the little dragon sitting cross-legged on the lake and refining the heavenly soul grass. He was relieved. Without disturbing the little dragon, he quietly exited the system. Getting up, he waved his hand to keep the pill cauldron. He tidied up his messy clothes and stepped out in front of Ouyang Shui. Stretching out his hand, Saint Spiritual Qi entered Ouyang Shui's body and began to investigate. The Saint Spiritual Qi entered the Divine Sea and Pill Palace without any surprise. The 2 golden words were now extremely dim. He knew that Ouyang Shui's matter was temporarily resolved. It was time to report. Thinking about it, he walked out with 2 pill bottles in his hands. Now that the pills were refined, as long as he passed them to Taoist Tian Quan, his mission would be completed. Stepping out of the room, he saw Taoist Tian Quan waiting anxiously. Seeing this, Lin Ray was stunned. A smile appeared on his face as he clasped his hands and said, "Fellow Taoist, fortunately, I didn't disappoint you." "Oh, it's done?" Taoist Tian Quan was stunned. When he came back to his senses, he wanted to enter the room. He couldn't wait to reunite with his wife. It had been more than 100,000 years. He couldn't wait any longer. "Fellow Taoist, please wait." Looking at the impatient Taoist Tian Quan, Linley could understand. However, right now, completing his mission was more important than seeing his wife. "Fellow Taoist, what is the meaning of this?" Taoist Tian Quan was stunned when he was stopped by Lin Ray. He extended his hand and placed the pill bottles in front of Taoist Tian Quan. "These are 2 pills. Fellow Taoist, please keep them well." "You're done?" "Yes." "How is this possible? How long has it been?" Taoist Tian Quan was shocked. It had only been half a month. The alchemist who recommended these 2 pills said that it would take a year to successfully refine them. But now, all right, quickly keep them. I don't want to disturb you from seeing your wife. After saying this, he stuffed the pills into Taoist Tian Quan's hands and turned to leave. Looking at Lin Ray's back, Taoist Tian Quan was stunned. He smiled bitterly and said, "All right." Keeping the pill bottles, he turned and walked into the room. "Ding, congratulations to host for completing the mission." "Ding, congratulations to host for helping Taoist Tian Quan refine the Wood Emperor pill." "Mission reward. Taoist Tian Quan will accompany you to Penglai." "Ding, congratulations to host for completing the mission of helping Taoist Tian Quan refine the Wood Concealing pill." "Mission reward. Taoist Tian Quan's with Spirit Boat." Chapter 1246. Taoist Tian Quan was in front of the bed of ice condensate. Looking at his wife lying on the bed, tears rolled down his cheeks uncontrollably and dripped onto the floor. "It's been more than 100,000 years. Schwerer, are you finally going to wake up?" Agitated, extremely agitated. It had been more than 100,000 years. Every time he thought of that scene, his heart would feel like it was being stabbed by a knife. If he could do it all over again, he would not hesitate to stand in front of his wife. He would rather be the one lying here for more than 100,000 years. Sigh. He allowed a long sigh and sat down. He reached out his hand and gently stroked Ouyang Shui's cheek. He began to nag nonstop. "In terms of this, when I first met you, did you know? You looked so silly back then. How many years has it been? I never thought that there would be someone so kind and silly in this world." As he spoke, the scene of him meeting his wife for the first time appeared in his mind. He calmed down. It had been more than 100,000 years. He thought that his heart had died. Who would have thought that the heavens would send Lin Ray to him? Perhaps it was the will of the heavens. In the outside world, Lin Ray did not disturb the couple in the cave. He understood that the two of them must have a lot to talk about. He did not want to be a third wheel. Now, outside the cave, looking at the formations below, he couldn't help but have the urge to go in and harvest all of them for his own use. Save it. The system's voice sounded. Now that he's your companion, you can forget about these things. Besides, although these things seem to be a lot, they're just some useless things. Do you think they're useful to you? TSK, you don't know anything. Rolling his eyes at the system, he said, Do you know what you're doing? What? The system asked. A well-fed man does not know the hunger of a starving man. You're so good. You have everything in the system. You don't have to worry about cultivation resources. You don't have a bunch of disciples waiting for your cultivation resources. As for me, I'm a single person. As the leader of a sect, I have a mission from a system. I have to push the sect to the peak of the holy world in 10,000 years. Do you think I can do it without being so frugal? Tens of thousands of disciples are burning money every second. If I don't find a way to get some cultivation resources, how are they going to improve? If I can't complete the mission, what am I going to do with my life? Speaking up to this point, Linley felt very helpless. Everyone else had obtained a cheat. As for him, although he had also obtained a cheat, it was more of a curse that would hasten his death. It was a curse that would hasten his death at any moment. Not working hard? What a joke. If he didn't work hard, where would his current cultivation come from? If he didn't work hard, where would his current sect come from? If he didn't work hard, how would his wife and children have their current strength, lifespan, and life? All right, what you said makes a little sense. The system had to admit. F*CKU. Lin Ray was stunned. Just now, he felt that something was wrong. Now, he finally figured it out. Damn you, system. Didn't you tell me not to pry into my heart? Did I? No. The system began to act shamelessly. How could he admit it? After a long exchange of words, Lin Ray was defeated. This matter was left unsettled. Schwerer, don't worry. Wait for me. This time, I'll get the Flood Dragon's heart for you. Then, I'll ask Lin Ray for help. No matter the price, as long as you can recover forever, I'll do it. He looked at his wife on the bed with a determined gaze. He knew that if he asked Lin Ray to help, he would have to pay a huge price. But so what? As long as his wife could be completely recovered, he would not hesitate to slit his own throat and commit suicide, let alone pay a huge price. Is it worth it? Suddenly, a woman's cold voice sounded in the room. It's worth it. As long as I can help you, Taoist Tian Quan replied, subconsciously. However, halfway through his sentence, his expression froze. His eyes widened, and he lowered his head to look at his wife on the bed. At this moment, Ouyang Shue's beautiful eyes were looking straight at the old man sitting beside the bed. The two of them looked at each other. Tears once again flowed from Taoist Tian Quan's eyes. Yes, he was crying. He was not crying because he was sad. Instead, he was crying because he was overjoyed. Seeing that his wife had woken up, Taoist Tian Quan stood up and bent over to help Ouyang Shue up from the bed. He looked left and right as if to confirm if she was really awake. What are you looking at? It's been over 100,000 years. Haven't you seen enough? Seeing her husband's current appearance, Ouyang Shue glared at Taoist Tian Quan. Hearing that light voice, Taoist Tian Quan's body trembled. He stared at Ouyang Shue. He was certain that she was finally awake. Shue, you're finally awake. After saying that, he gave Ouyang Shue a bear hug. He did not have any intention of letting go. It was as if he were to let go, his awakened wife would disappear. Cough, cough. Ouyang Shue coughed lightly. She extended her hand and patted Taoist Tian Quan's back. She said angrily, I've just woken up and you can't wait to suffocate me to death, right? No, why would I? After saying that, he realized that he had lost his composure. He quickly let go of her and sat down again. He did not say anything and just quietly looked at his wife. The two of them had a tacit understanding. Neither of them said anything. However, there was no awkwardness. The two of them only had tenderness and reluctance to part. Tian Quan understood that he only had 30 days with his wife. After 30 days, his wife would fall unconscious again. Schwer. Yes. Schwer. Yes. Schwer. Are you done yet? What's the matter? Just say it. Seeing her husband dilly-dallying, Ouyang Shui rolled her eyes at him. She realized that her husband's personality seemed to have changed. That impulsive, cold-blooded, and taciturn husband of the past was nowhere to be seen in the figure in front of her. Shui, this time I woke you up because, he blurted out, but halfway through, he felt as if a fishbone was stuck in his throat. Sigh. Tian Quan sighed. Thinking about what would happen 30 days later, he mustered up his courage and spoke again. You only have 30 days to wake up. After 30 days, you will fall into a coma again. After saying that, he stared at his wife. However, he did not see any resentment or unwillingness in his wife's eyes. There was only reluctance to part. Seeing that his wife was so calm, Tian Quan quickly assured her, "But don't worry, this is only temporary. I have already found a way to completely wake you up. When you wake up again, you will be completely awake. At that time, we can be together forever." Chapter 1247. On the coast of the East Sea, Lin Ray and the others stood still and looked at the vast sea, their hearts filled with excitement. "Fellow cultivator, do you know the exact location of Penglai Island or the exact situation of the Flood Dragon?" Taoist Tian Quan asked curiously. It had been 10 days since Ouyang Shui woke up. Originally, Lin Ray planned to wait until Ouyang Shui fell asleep again before heading to Penglai. Lin Ray was not the only one who thought so. Even Taoist Tian Quan thought so too. However, Ouyang Shui did not think so. Ouyang Shui wanted to go out for a walk. Although there was less than a month left, she still wanted to see the scenery and the sunlight that she had not seen for a long time. Of course, the most important thing was to be by Taoist Tian Quan's side. She could watch the sun set and the sun rise. After all, she had wasted hundreds of thousands of years. He was different. She had to stay in the cave for a period of time. She didn't want to, nor was she willing. As such, after a discussion, everyone came to a consensus, resulting in this scene. Taoist Tian Quan's cave abode's array formation and all the natural treasures in his own cave abode had been taken away by Taoist Tian Quan. Because of this, Linli was very tempted. Hearing Taoist Tian Quan's question, he looked at Lu Shusheng, indicating that he should be the one to answer. Noticing Lin Ray's gaze, Lu Shusheng shook his head helplessly and began to speak. Penglai is in the depths of the East Sea. It is protected by a natural formation. Of course, with Lin Ray around, none of this is a problem. However, the biggest problem comes from the Flood Dragon itself. It is said that the Flood Dragon has reached the peak of the Earth's Saint Realm. As for whether it has broken through to the Heaven's Saint Realm, no one knows. However, I still hope that it has not broken through. I also pray that we are not so unlucky. Otherwise, Lu Shusheng shrugged and did not continue. Of course, no one present was a fool. They naturally understood what Lu Shusheng meant. "All right, let's talk about this on the ship after we get out of the sea. We will make the arrangements then." At this moment, Lin Ray spoke and broke the silence. With a wave of his hand, a ray of light shot out and landed on the coast. As far as the eye could see, an ancient-looking ship suddenly appeared. The aura of the ship was enough to prove that it was different. A ship made of spiritual wood is indeed different. Just such a large project is enough to match a god-level blacksmith. Looking at the structure of the ship, Lin Ray was slightly shocked. Of course, what was even more shocking was that such a ship required a lot of spiritual wood. Fellow Taoist, you must be joking. Compared to your methods, this ship is still very weak. Tian Quan said. His gaze fell on Lin Ray. His eyes narrowed slightly, and a special feeling flashed through them. How could he not understand Taoist Tian Quan's intention? Wasn't it obvious that Taoist Tian Quan wanted to return the meteor thunder he had obtained previously? However, Lin Ray felt helpless about this. Wasn't it just a god-tier ancient sword? Was it necessary to remind him every day? Alas! Sighing, Zhang Xian turned his attention away from Tian Quan and boarded the ship. Naturally, the others did not lag behind. Everyone boarded the ship, and the heavy responsibility of being the boatman naturally fell on Taoist Tian Quan. Tian Quan refuted this, but the answers given by everyone were very clear. No, they did not understand, and they did not know. Taoist Tian Quan felt very helpless about this. You don't know how to return anything? So you're sure you're going to get me? Although he was unwilling, he thought of his wife's illness and Lin Rei's methods. In the end, under Lin Rei's tyrannical abuse, he succumbed and successfully became a boatman. As for Ouyang Shui, she did not speak much throughout the journey. Her gaze was fixed on her husband, Tian Quan. Therefore, everyone pretended not to see her. The group set off just like that. Lu Shuxing stepped forward and showed Tian Quan the way. Tian Quan was in charge of the voyage, and Lin Rei was the head chef of the ship. Tian Quan was not the only one who needed to eat, but he was unwilling to do so. He said that his wife had just woken up and needed nourishment. Lin Rei could not refute this reason at all. In the end, he could only nod in agreement. The thought of a sect master being reduced to a chef made his heart ache. But of all the people on the ship, the one with the least amount of free time was actually Ouyang Zhen, who had the lowest cultivation base. He did nothing but eat and sleep every day. This caused Linley to grit his teeth, wishing he could toss Ouyang Zhen off the ship. In the blink of an eye, they had been out at sea for 10 days. The speed of the ship was very fast. With Lin Rei's high-grade sacred crystals, it had to be fast. Now that they had passed through the ship, they looked up at the setting sun in the distance and sighed inexplicably. If I had known that I would meet Tian Quan and Tian Quan on this trip, I would have brought Ing and Tian Quan along. Now I can only be a pitiful single dog, eating other people's dog food every day. As he spoke, Lin Rei did not forget to wipe his tears. This made Ouyang Zhen laugh, but he did not laugh out loud for Lin Rei's sake. Fellow Taoist, just as he was thinking about this, Ouyang Shui's voice suddenly sounded from beside him. Fellow Taoist Ouyang? Lin Rei was stunned. It seemed to be the first time Ouyang Shui spoke to him in these 10 days. Indeed, it was the first time Ouyang Shui took the initiative to talk to him since she woke up. This made Lin Rei very surprised. Fellow Taoist Lin, thank you for saving my life. Once again, I thank you. As she spoke, she bowed. No, we're just taking what we need. Lin Rei said to stop her. Indeed, they were taking what they needed. He gave Tian Quan Taoist what he wanted, and Tian Quan Taoist had what he needed. No, I should thank you. If it wasn't for you, I would probably still be in a coma. So, I should thank you. Here, after this, you still have to help me refine the antidote to save me. So it's not too much. As she spoke, she bowed again. However, this time, Lin Rei did not stop her. Indeed, he still had to help them refine the antidote in the future. A smile appeared on his face. His impression of Ouyang Shui had improved a lot. Moreover, this woman's cultivation was also very strong. She was in the late-stage Dao fruit realm and had been in a coma for more than 100,000 years. It seemed that this woman already had such strength more than 100,000 years ago. She got up and looked in the direction Lin Rei was looking. The sunset in the sky was infinitely beautiful. Thinking of where they were going, she could not help but feel a little worried. I'm worried. How confident are you that we can kill the flood dragon this time? Looking at Ouyang Shui, Lin Rei did not hide anything and said, if Tian Quan didn't join us, perhaps only 50%. However, with Tian Quan's participation, it's a different story. At the very least, I'm 90% confident. I'm 90% confident that I can kill the flood dragon. As he spoke, a confident smile flashed across his face, and he continued, I know what you're worried about. Don't worry, I guarantee that I'll bring your husband back safely. After all, I promised him that I'll rescue you completely. I'm not someone who goes back on my words easily. Chapter 1248. The boat sailed on. Ever since Lin Fan promised Ouyang Shui, the relationship between the two of them seemed to have improved. Previously, they did not speak much, but now, they would occasionally exchange a few words. Lin Rei did not pay too much attention to Ouyang Shui. Instead, he sat at the front of the boat and closed his eyes to rest. To outsiders, Lin Rei was sleeping or meditating, but that was not the case. Every time Lin Rei sat at the front of the boat, his spiritual would enter the time-space of the system. With the addition of time, he would comprehend the Tao of pills and weapon refinement. Although the time was short, he could comprehend as much as he could. It was better than nothing. Young master, let's go inside and sit. It's going to rain. According to Brother Tian Quan, if it rains, it might cause a tsunami. Just as Lin Fan was comprehending the key points of the Tao of pills in the system, he heard Ouyang Zhen's voice. Lin Fan held his breath and felt unhappy, but he did not flare up. Lin Fan's spiritual will return to his body. He turned to look at Ouyang Zhen and nodded. Got it. Then, he stood up and walked to the door of the cabin. He pushed the door open and walked in. Did I say something wrong? Ouyang Zhen was puzzled as he looked at Lin Rei's disappearing figure. He had been following Lin Rei for some time and understood Lin Rei's temper. Therefore, when he saw Lin Rei acting like this, he vaguely felt that he had done something wrong. However, he could not tell what he had done wrong. He shook his head in confusion. Thinking of Tian Quan's words and looking at the dark clouds in the sky, he threw the previous matter to the back of his mind and walked in. Within the cabin of the ship, everyone was seated around a table, which was a rare sight. They were all staring at each other. Only Linley was alone, holding a bottle of wine in his hand. He was drinking by himself, looking very relaxed. Brother, Tian Quan seemed to have felt the awkwardness in the space. He could not help but break the silence. In a while, if there really is a tsunami, please be careful. In the East Sea, tsunamis are very powerful. More importantly, there are powerful monsters hidden in the tsunamis. They are very strong, and there are many of them. That year, I once went out to sea. That scene is something I can't forget even to this day. Of the dozen or so good friends who came with me, only fellow Taoist Nan Feng and I managed to return to the shore. After that, I never came to the Eastern Sea. That's why, fellow Taoist, there's no doubt that this matter is dangerous. Everyone must be careful, and even more careful. Don't be careless. Otherwise, the one who will suffer in the end will be you. As soon as these words were spoken, apart from Lin Rei, who was still drinking his wine, Ouyang Zhen and Lu Shuxing's expressions were very serious. It was as if they had already imagined the dangerous situation. Crack! The sound of thunder and lightning suddenly rang out. Everyone was shocked. To be honest, it would be a joke to say that they weren't afraid. They couldn't fly in the Eastern Sea, so they could only travel by boat. If they encountered a tsunami like what Taoist Tian Quan said, the consequences would be unimaginable. Looking at the worried expressions on everyone's faces, Lin Rei felt that it was extremely funny. No matter what, they were all saints. Fine, Ouyang Zhen wasn't a saint, but he was still a quasi-saint. Was there need to be so worried? Rolling his eyes, he stood up and walked to a room far away. Placing his wine aside, he lay down on his bed and dozed off. Within the Heavenly Yuan Sect, the Sect competition that was held once every 5 years had begun. What was strange was that Lin Xian was also participating in the competition. If Ruo Lin and Lei were here, they would definitely be shocked. After all, wasn't this a joke? Miss, are you really going to participate in the Heavenly Yuan Sect's competition? If the Sect leader knew about this, he would definitely not be willing to see you in such a state. Kuei Xian was a member of the combat division. He had broken through to the mid-phase of the Reverent God realm and could be considered one of the top few out of the 20 participants. However, after knowing that their miss was going to participate in the Heavenly Yuan Sect competition, everyone chose Kuei Xian to protect Lin Xian. They were very clear about Lin Xian's cultivation base. She was at the Grand Perfection Divine Monarch realm. This cultivation base was considered pretty good in the Heavenly Yuan Sect. However, since all the disciples of the Heavenly Yuan Sect were allowed to participate in the competition, this also meant that those who were several times stronger than Lin Xian would be participating as well. They didn't dare to guarantee that their miss wouldn't injure herself in a moment of rashness. But if Lin Rei returned, they would definitely be punished heavily. It was also because of this that when the 19 participants selected him, Kuei Xian didn't have any complaints. I say, stop being so wishy-washy like a sissy. Lin Xian turned her head and glared at Kuei Xian. Tell me, how many times have you asked me this? Isn't it just participating in the competition? Is there a need to be so endless? Yeah, miss, but this subordinate has already asked about the Heavenly Yuan Sect competition. It's fine as long as no one dies. But if they injure you and the sect leader returns, this subordinate won't be able to bear the consequences. Kuei Xian cried. If he had another chance to choose again, he would rather stay here and cultivate than accept such an arduous and thankless mission. Enough, enough. You don't have to say any more. It's about to start. After speaking, she waved her hands at Kuei Xian and walked towards the stage. Looking at Lin Xian's silhouette, Kuei Xian helplessly shook his head. He turned his head and saw the second elder of the Heavenly Yuan Sect. His eyes flickered as he took a step forward, instantly appearing before the second elder. MHM? Fellow Taoist, what's the matter? The second elder of the Heavenly Yuan Sect furrowed his brows when he saw Kuei Xian. Staring at the second elder, Kuei Xian didn't conceal anything and told him about Lin Xian. Fellow Taoist, it's like this. As he spoke, he pointed to Lin Xian in the crowd as he continued. That little girl is the daughter of my clan's young master. I don't know what happened to her, but she insisted on participating in the Heavenly Yuan Sect competition. I'm afraid that something might happen to her during the competition. Hence, I implore the second elder to directly announce the result of the competition. As long as she isn't injured, it doesn't matter who wins or loses. Is that so? The second elder frowned. Honestly speaking, he had been in charge of the competition for many years. He didn't expect such a thing to happen. He knew of Kuei Xian and the others. Back then in the Great Hall, he was also present. Hence, he was very clear of the strength of these people. After contemplating for a long time, he finally nodded his head and agreed to Kuei Xian's conditions. All right, since fellow Taoist has said so, it's settled then. Upon seeing the second elder agreeing, Kuei Xian smiled as he cast a glance of gratitude. Stretching his hand out, he passed a medicinal pill to the second elder as he spoke. Thank you, second elder. This is just a small token of my appreciation. I hope you don't mind. This, looking at the medicinal pill bottle in front of him, it would be a lie if he wasn't moved. Thinking back to that time in the Great Hall, how could he not be moved by what Lin Rei gave him? Accept it. After speaking, Kuei Xian stuffed the medicinal pill bottle into the hands of the second elder, clasped his hands and smiled before turning and departing. Staring at the departing back of Kuei Xian, the second elder wasn't in a hurry to inspect the medicinal pill bottle in his hand. Instead, he kept it and turned his attention back to the competition below. A few thousand people, but this wasn't the total number of participants from the Heavenly Yuan Sect. Looking at the number of participants this time around, a smile appeared on the face of the second elder. He coughed lightly as he spoke. Everyone, please be quiet. As the voice of the second elder rang out, the entire place fell silent. The gazes of everyone landed on the second elder. Everyone here are the geniuses of our Heavenly Yuan Sect. The competition this time around will be the same as the previous years. We will draw lots. There will be a total of 3 rounds, the preliminary round, the second round, and the final round. Before each round, everyone will draw lots. If the numbers drawn by both parties are the same, the 2 participants will battle on the platform. For the first round, half of the participants would be eliminated. For the second round, half of the participants would be eliminated as well. And for the final round, the participants would be ranked first and second according to their individual strength. There would be rewards for the top 20 participants. Everyone, please do your best. This time around, the rewards were extremely valuable. Everyone, please don't miss out on this opportunity. After speaking, his gaze landed on Lin Xian. Looking at her, he felt some trepidation in his heart. After which he spoke, "Let the competition begin. Draw lots." After speaking, everyone started to get busy. Everyone came to the designated location and placed their hands into a large black box. When they took it out again, there was a bamboo raft in their hands. Number 36? Lin Xian exited the crowd. Staring at the number on the bamboo raft, she frowned and turned to walk away. There were a total of 8 platforms here. According to the number of rounds, she should be on the 5th platform. Hence, she wasn't in a hurry to go up. The drawing of lots went by very quickly and ended not too long later. And after the drawing of lots ended, the real competition began. At this moment, Deacon Fong Lei, who was in charge of the competition, walked up to the stage. He looked at the disciples below and said, "Those with numbers from 1 to 8, come up to the stage. Go to your respective stages according to your number. The competition will begin immediately." Xiao, one by one, the silhouettes moved with extreme speed. In just a few breaths of time, 16 silhouettes appeared on the platforms. They were grouped into pairs, and the competition began. On the platform, sword light flashed. Lin Xian was bored to death as she sat in a clean spot with her eyes closed in contemplation. It was unknown what she was thinking about. At this moment, Ruo Lin's thunder was beside her. If he knew that his daughter was participating in the competition, he would immediately act and suppress everyone present. Naturally, the most important thing was that he was worried about Lin Xian. Although the mystic ice heavenly art was suppressed by the medicinal pill, as time flowed by, the side effects of the medicinal pill would gradually weaken. If she used the mystic ice heavenly art for a long period of time, the medicinal pill might not even be able to last for 3 years. However, at this moment, Lin Rei couldn't even take care of himself. He didn't know what happened in the Heavenly Yuan Sect. In the depths of the Eastern Ocean, the tsunami really appeared just like what Taoist Tian Quan said. Not only that, the intensity of the tsunami caused Lin Rei to have an impulse to curse out loud. Lin Rei, who was originally in a deep slumber, suddenly trembled violently. In the end, let alone sleeping, he directly slammed into the wall of the ship. Only after he woke up did he know that the tsunami had arrived. What was even worse was that there were over 10 demonic beasts hidden within the tsunami. Judging from their auras, the weakest among them was at the quasi-saint realm, while the strongest was at the earth saint realm. Seeing this, Lin Rei couldn't help but despise Taoist Tian Quan in his heart. Of all things to say, why did he have to say that they encountered a tsunami and demonic beasts? Great, now he was telling the truth. Everything that Tian Quan said was here now. Moreover, it was far more severe than he imagined. Bang! A muffled sound rang out. In the outside world, a demonic beast that looked like an octopus slammed into the wall of the ship with one of its whiskers. The entire ship was sent flying. A faint crack appeared on the hull of the ship. Lin Rei and the rest could feel it. If this kind of attack came a few more times, the ship wouldn't be able to hold on and they would fall into the sea. At that time, they could only fly. However, that would attract even more demonic beasts. At the bow of the ship, everyone looked at each other with worry in their eyes. It had to be said that the situation this time had exceeded everyone's expectations. If they were on land, they would have rushed over without hesitation. However, they were in the sea now. This was the natural habitat of the demonic beasts in the sea. To cultivators who lived on land all year round, this was the most fatal situation. What should we do? Taoist Tian Quan asked. What should we do? He turned to Lin Rei and asked. At this moment, Lu Shusheng had placed all his hopes on Lin Rei. He had a feeling that as long as he followed Lin Rei, he wouldn't die. At least, he wouldn't die now. Not only Lu Shusheng, but Ouyang Zhenyi's gaze also fell on Lin Rei. At this moment, everyone's gaze was on Lin Rei. Looking at everyone's gaze, Lin Rei was startled. He smiled bitterly. What did he do at this time? His gaze fell on the tsunami in front of him, and his heart sank. To be honest, this was the first time he had seen such a spectacular scene. Let's take it one step at a time. In a while, we'll go out and fight. If there's a chance, I'll think of a way to stop them. You guys take the opportunity to escape and find a place to stop. When I escape, I'll look for you. With that, 4 jade tokens appeared in his hand, and he threw them to everyone. Lin Rei held the chaotic dragon spear in his hand, his battle-intense sword, and he instantly unleashed the aura of the peak middle stage of Tao fruit without holding back. He instantly released his saint-level physical body and his saint-level equipment. This time, it wasn't the time to hold back. Who knew if they could escape this time? Of course, this was just Lin Ray's idea. If he really wanted to escape, he could hide in the system and everything would be solved. However, the same couldn't be said for Taoist Tian Quan and the others. Young master, let me do it. You follow Taoist Tian Quan and fight with your comrades. I'll bring up the rear. Ouyang Zhen stepped forward. At this moment, he truly regarded himself as Lin Ray's subordinate. In this situation, it was naturally the most appropriate for him to step forward. After all, it was a little unreasonable to let his master take action. Seeing Ouyang Zhen step forward, Lin Ray was stunned. He smiled bitterly and shook his head. At this moment, he had a new understanding of Ouyang Zhen. However, he wasn't suitable. Leave with Taoist Tian Quan. I'll stay here. Remember, protect yourself. Don't forget the Ouyang family you live in. If you die, I won't take care of you. Swoosh! Without waiting for the others to speak, Lin Ray took the lead and rushed out. Golden light shone from his body as he unleashed his cultivation. At this moment, Lin Ray transformed into a war god and appeared in front of a demonic beast. He raised his hand and poked at the demonic beast's head. Pucci. Chapter 1249. Without a doubt, Lin Ray didn't stop after his successful attack. Now that he could die at any moment, he didn't have time to think about anything else. His only reaction was to kill as many as he could. It would be best if he could kill all those monsters until all their attention was on him. This way, Lu Shusheng and the others could leave this dangerous sea area relatively safely. Little dragon, I might need your help later. While waving the long spear in his hand, he communicated with the little dragon through the divine telekinesis system. At this moment, only the little dragon could bring everyone out of here safely and better delay this group of monsters so that the others could leave as soon as possible. Bastard, you're giving me trouble again. After complaining, he continued, Don't worry, just leave the body to me later. However, this kind of ordinary situation may have a negative impact on your body and the fusion rate. What I mean is, you should try your best to fight. Just treat this as an experience. Experience the edge of life and death that you haven't experienced for a long time. Maybe you can break through because of this battle. When I really can't hold on, I'll come out and accept it. What do you think? Lin Ray was filled with anticipation. When the little dragon spoke, Lin Ray was moved. Indeed, he had been looking for opponents before. Now that there was such a good whetstone before the new year, it would be a waste if he didn't use it. Moreover, since the little dragon promised, there wouldn't be any problems. He had 100% trust in the little dragon. After being together for 4,000 to 5,000 years, if he didn't have this bit of trust, how could he have come to where he was today? Okay, I'll call you when I really can't hold on anymore. As for now, the spear pierced through the head of a monster that didn't look like a monster. Red and white instantly gushed out from the skull, and the smell of blood filled the sea area. It's time for me to show off. With the body of the long spear, the battle intent rose. At this moment, Lin Ray didn't hide anything. This was the opportunity to prove himself. Taoist Tian Quan, who was standing behind Lin Ray, felt his blood boil for some reason. He had the urge to charge forward and fight alongside Lin Ray. At the side, Ouyang Shui, who was following behind him, seemed to have sensed her husband's strange behavior. She grabbed his arm with both of her hands. Her heart tightened, and a worried expression appeared on her face. Although she did not want him to go, but go ahead. As she spoke, she loosened her hands. Remember, you have to be safe. I don't want you to be when I wake up. If that's the case, I'd rather not wake up. Remember this old lady's words. You must be well. As she spoke, she drew her long sword. She looked like she was ready to fight and was ready to die. Shusheng Liu, who was watching from the side, was stunned. He didn't react in time, but he knew what the other party was thinking. Fellow Taoists, at this time, we will have a greater chance of success if we attack together. Although fellow Taoist Lin Rei's method is feasible, but what are you waiting for? Hurry up and catch up with me. Do you really want me to protect you all the way until you leave? Sensing that Shu Lu and the others were still standing behind him, he was furious. He did not care about Taoist Tian Quan and the others' reputation and directly roared. Ugh! Lin Rei's voice was very loud. Everyone regained their senses and looked towards the source of the voice. They saw Lin Rei was like the god of death from the ninth heaven. His whole body was wrapped in illusory spirit blood fire. Outside of the illusory spirit blood fire, there was a layer of Hongmeng fire. He held a spear in one hand, looking mighty, domineering, and full of aura. Everyone was stunned and subconsciously started to move. Too stupid. He cursed in his heart and immediately continued to hunt. Undeniably, the demonic beasts in the sea were very powerful. Ordinary hierarch realm demonic beasts were much stronger than the demonic beasts on land. Perhaps it was because the battlefield was facing the sea beasts. Lin Rei could not fully display his strength. However, if one were to judge Lin Rei based on an ordinary cultivator, it would be a big mistake. If one were to judge Lin Rei based on an ordinary cultivator, there would only be one outcome: death. Die. Silent thunder spear execution. Martial god stratagem. Sky-shattering fist, sky-destroying palm. Myriad sword art, myriad transformations. For a moment, the dazzling battle was seen by Shu Lu and the others. At this moment, everyone started to judge Lin Rei's strength. If such a cultivator doesn't die today, he will definitely soar to the sky in the future. I'm afraid the whole holy world will tremble because of this person. Yes, I agree. This kind of person will not be able to live a peaceful life. Yeah, he's too powerful. I'm afraid he has the strength of an early Earth Saint realm expert. Shu Lu and the others rushed towards the direction. They were shocked to see Lin Rei's crazy attack that did not care about the consumption of Saint spiritual qi. Indeed, Lin Rei was on the verge of going crazy. He was doing this so that Shu Lu and the others could leave this place safely. For a moment, there was no sea blue color within 100 miles. There was only blood, scarlet, and the smell of blood. This was the battlefield of Azura, the playground of demons, the harvest of the Grim Reaper, the paradise of demonic cultivators. Roar. An earth-shattering roar of a beast came from the bottom of the sea. It was as if the beast was the only existence left in this world. Lin Rei and the others seemed insignificant. Not good. I'm afraid the smell of blood has attracted the overlord of the sea. Taoist Tian Quan's expression changed when he heard the beast roar. His body trembled. The thing that he did not want to see the most had happened. F***CK, forget it. Listen to Lin Rei and get out of here as soon as possible. Since he agreed to my arrangement, it means that he has a way to escape. Shu Lu was the calmest among them. What? Taoist Tian Quan and the others agreed. However, Ouyang disagreed. He still had Lin Rei's soul imprint in his mind. If Ruo Lin died, he would not be able to escape. Of course, another reason was that Lin Rei had promised him that he would break through to the Saint realm in half a year. He thought it was a lie. However, after spending some time together, the Saint's spiritual qi in his body was denser than before. If he continued to follow Lin Rei's plan, there was an 80% chance that he would break through to the Saint realm in half a year. Most importantly, Lin Rei's personality. Although he looked cold, he was very protective of his subordinates. Therefore, when he heard Shu Lu's words, he was unhappy. He looked at Shu Lu with a gloomy face and said coldly, "Bastard, don't think that I'm afraid of you just because your cultivation is high. If it wasn't for my young master, do you think you could escape from here? If it wasn't for you begging my young master shamelessly, do you think you could follow us? And you," as he said that, he turned his head and pointed at Taoist Tian Quan as if he had gone mad. He no longer cared about Taoist Tian Quan's cultivation and status in the holy world. If it wasn't for my young master, your wife would still be in a coma. As for you, you would still be helping that alchemist and foolishly collecting 2 useless alchemy materials. More importantly, aside from the people of the heavenly court, Probably only my young master can cook for your wife in the entire Saint's world, Jian said. When Ouyang Zhan said that, Tian Quan and Lu Shusheng were stunned. Even Ouyang Shui, who had been silent all this time, was stunned. She did not show any dissatisfaction towards Ouyang Zhan. Ouyang Zhan was right. If it wasn't for Lin Rei, none of this would have happened. Sigh, a bunch of fools. What Ouyang Zhan didn't know was that his words had fallen into Lin Rei's ears. Lin Rei felt a warmth in his heart. However, in the next moment, he even had the urge to kill Ouyang Zhan. Originally, they were running fine. Now that Ouyang Zhan had said that, they might stay for the sake of their reputation. By then, even if he came up with a solution, it would be useless. He couldn't possibly point at the sky and say, "Die with your eggs facing the sky. If you don't die, you'll live for thousands of years." Bullshit. The spear in his hand continued to swing as he roared at Ouyang Zhan. "Ouyang Zhan, you bastard. You want to kill me, right? Hurry up and leave with Lu Shusheng and the others. Why are you, a quasi-saint, messing around with me? Don't you think the situation is dangerous enough?" "Awoo, awoo." The beasts roared continuously as more and more monsters gathered. To put it nicely, it was a beast horde. To put it bluntly, it was a beast horde. Moreover, it was the most powerful beast horde he had ever seen. He dared to guarantee that any of the monsters here would become an invincible overlord in the divine realm. Hurry up and leave. Not only can you not help Lin Rei, you'll become a burden in the end, Lu Shusheng said as he channeled Holy Spirit Qi into his legs. His speed soared to a new height. His figure disappeared from the spot as he rushed in the direction he had set earlier. "Yes, little brother. Hurry up and leave. Otherwise, you'll only be a burden to Taoist Lin." It wasn't that he didn't want to help. He had a woman by his side. Hundreds of thousands of years ago, this woman had suffered because of him. He couldn't let her be in danger again. He couldn't do it. After saying that, he disappeared from the spot just like Lu Shusheng. Ouyang Zhan didn't leave. He stood there in a daze and sneered as he looked at the people in the distance. "A bunch of scumbags. You're quick to run when there's danger. But do you know that life and reputation aren't the most important things in this world?" He turned around, and a long sword appeared in his hand. The sound of the sword soared into the sky and shook the surroundings. "What?" Looking at Ouyang Zhan, who was full of battle intent, Lin Rei was dumbfounded. "What the hell is going on? Is there anyone who can tell me?" "He not bad. Looks like the little brother you've recruited this time is very loyal to you." The system teased. F***CK, this idiot. Yes, Lin Rei was dumbfounded. He didn't expect Ouyang Zhan to be so loyal to him. Just like what the system said, this guy's loyalty was a little too excessive. Whoosh! Ouyang Zhan rushed over and nodded at Lin Rei. "Young master, I'm willing to shed my last drop of blood with you." After saying that, he didn't wait for Lin Rei's reply. He found a hierarch realm demonic beast and rushed towards it. Lin Rei was speechless. Ouyang Zhan, who was in the mood for battle, probably didn't know that Lin Rei wanted to kill him. "Idiot, just you wait. When we get out of this trap, I'll rub your face against the ground." Although he said that, he was still quite pleased. After all, it wasn't easy to have a loyal subordinate. "System, inform me when Lu Shusheng and the others get out of this trap. I don't want this idiot to die here. Otherwise, how am I going to vent my anger?" "All right, don't worry." After getting the system's answer, Lin Rei became even more unscrupulous. However, when he thought of the previous roar, Lin Rei prayed in his heart that this guy wouldn't appear after Lu Shusheng and the others got out of here. "Human, does it feel good to kill my people?" A majestic and inviolable voice suddenly exploded in Lin Rei's mind. F***CK, I can't be that unlucky. Yes, the host might be that unlucky. Official authentication. The system said, "Get lost." At this moment, he didn't have the mood to tease the system anymore. Judging from the voice just now, he wasn't a match for it. Splash! Below the surface of the sea, a huge creature broke through the surface of the sea and rushed out. The moment it rushed out, the demonic beast that had surrounded Lin Rei and Ouyang Zhan immediately retreated. It was as if an emperor had appeared, and they were all opening a path for him. Earth Sage, a proper Earth Sage of origin. Host, you're in trouble this time. Lin Ray's face darkened. If it was a group of Dao Fruit Sages, he might be able to accept it. If it was a beginner Earth Sage, he might be able to accept it. However, he felt an unprecedented pressure from the huge creature. It was absolutely impossible for this fellow to be a simple Earth Sage of chaos. Lin Ray made a decision in his heart. That's right, a quasi-heaven sage. You're only one step away from becoming a heavenly sage. So, host, take it easy. If you can't do it, just summon the little dragon. When the system said that, Lin Ray was tempted. Indeed, he was a little touched when faced with such a price. However, the moment he was tempted, a voice in his heart said no. Yes, that voice in his heart didn't want the little dragon to appear. Shaking his head, he followed the voice in his heart. No, I want to try. Even if I can't defeat it, I still want it. After saying that, he looked at the huge creature. His battle intent was even stronger than before. He didn't have the slightest intention of cowering. Up to you. Come on, let me see if you're as beautiful as you say. After saying that, the figure rushed out. The huge creature looked very festive. It had the head of a qilin and the body of a whale. This combination was amazing. Humans are ignorant. Looking at Lin Ray, who was rushing over, a trace of disdain flashed across the huge creature's eyes. With a flick of its tail, the surface of the sea instantly exploded. A water column shot up to the sky and blasted towards Lin Ray, who was rushing over. What? Looking at the water column, Lin Ray was shocked. This kind of method made him a little speechless. He didn't underestimate it. One should know that with the opponent's cultivation, it could crush him at any time. Empty blade. Putting away the Chaos Dragon Spear, he stretched out his hand and chopped at the water column. Ignorant. Seeing Lin Ray's action, the huge creature sneered. It didn't even look at him. What is this? This is absolute strength. It's absolute confidence. Slash. However, just when the huge creature was looking at him, a strange sound was heard. The water column that shot up to the sky split into two and rushed towards two directions. It just happened to ignore the place where Lin Ray was. Chapter 1250. You know the divine power of space? Who are you? The demonic beast was shocked. One should know that time was king and space was emperor. It was unimaginable for a human to know the divine power of space law. He had to reconsider the identity of the person in front of him. You're not qualified to know who I am. You only need to know that even if you have a high cultivation level, you can't stop me if I want to leave. You don't even have the ability to stop me. Swoosh. Linley didn't waste any more words. With a wave of his hand, he sent out a few more spatial blades towards the monstrous beast. This time, he didn't plan to test out Xiaolong's strength. He wanted to see if he himself would be able to withstand it. As he attacked, he sent a message to Ouyang Zhen. Relax your mind. Don't try to stop me. Time is limited. I don't have time to explain. Remember, just relax your mind and body. Hearing Lin Ray's words, Ouyang Zhen's sword paused for a moment before he nodded. Although he did not know what Lin Ray meant, he did not dare to disobey his young master's order. Of course, more importantly, he believed that Lin Ray would not harm him. He relaxed his concealment and completely relaxed his body. At this moment, any hierarch realm demonic beast would be able to kill Ouyang Zhen effortlessly. Very good. Seeing Ouyang Zhen's trust, Lin Ray was gratified. He then shrouded Ouyang Zhen with his divine sense. A moment ago, Ouyang Zhen was still standing on the same spot with his eyes closed. The next moment, his figure disappeared. There was no trace of Ouyang Zhen's aura in the entire space. It was as if he was never there. Ouyang Zhen's disappearance was naturally noticed by the monstrous beast, and it attributed Ouyang Zhen's disappearance completely to the good fortune of Linley's laws of space. Space law, this guy. The demonic beast became wary of Lin Ray. He thought that he was just an ordinary cultivator with a powerful cultivation level. However, it seemed that he was not. He knew the divine power of space and the space law. These two were enough to make him wary. However, Lin Ray did not know about this. If they knew, they would definitely make a big fuss about it. Perhaps they could use this opportunity to escape. Of course, Lin Ray wasn't clear about the thoughts of the demonic beasts. What he was clear about was that the game had just begun. Swish! Lin Ray moved. With just a few space blades, it was impossible to inflict any damage to the monster beast. Lin Ray was well aware of this. He dashed out and appeared on top of the demonic beast's head in an instant. The Chaos Dragon Spear appeared in his hand. He aimed the tip of the spear at the demonic beast's head and thrust it down. Clang! The sound of metal clashing could be heard as the Chaos Dragon Spear pierced the demonic beast's head. However, what made Lin Ray feel deflated was that the spear was unable to pierce through the demonic beast's skin. What made Lin Ray feel even more disbelief was that the spear did not leave a single mark on the demonic beast's skin. Human, are you trying to scratch an itch for me? The demonic beast opened its mouth, its tone filled with disdain and mockery. Indeed, from its point of view, Lin Ray's attack was just like scratching an itch. It did not cause any substantial damage at all, and it was this move that completely destroyed the fear and wariness the demonic beast had towards Lin Ray. Not a single bit was left. After all this time, it turns out you're just a fucking paper tiger. Thinking back to his previous state, he felt an indescribable grievance. If this matter was known by those old fellows from his clan who didn't get along with him, it would become a topic of conversation after dinner. Just thinking about it made Lin Ray's blood boil. His battle intent soared, and he circulated his cultivation base. With a flick of his head, Lin Ray was sent flying uncontrollably. At the same time, in the instant that Lin Ray was sent flying, the demonic beast's gigantic tail appeared in front of Lin Ray. From top to bottom, it slammed down towards Lin Ray. Bang! Walala! Raging waves appeared on the surface of the sea. Lin Ray was pressed down by the demonic beast's pressure and directly came into contact with the surface of the sea. When the two sides collided, it was not just a matter of cultivation base. More importantly, it was a matter of impact. Before Lin Ray could react, Lin Ray was instantly slammed into the sea. Puff! Purple blood spurted out from Lin Ray's mouth. His face instantly turned pale. The aura in his body became chaotic. His meridians flowed in reverse. Almost all of his ribs were broken. His limbs were not much better. The saint tools on the surface of his body had become dim under the impact just now. They were on the verge of breaking. Only the primal Chaos Dragon Spear appeared in front of Lin Ray without any damage. A soft light enveloped Lin Ray. Streams of air spurted out from the primal Chaos Dragon Spear and rushed into Lin Ray's body, beginning to repair the injuries in his body. Whoa! A dragon roar rang out. Dragon One's voice appeared in Lin Ray's mind. Master, your injuries are too heavy. You need a rest now. During this time, you cannot use your cultivation base. You also cannot use the slightest bit of Holy Spirit Chi in your body. Otherwise, the consequences will be unimaginable. Host, that's all I have to say. Please take care of your body. Don't joke around with your life. Lin Ray was speechless. Dragon One's words left Lin Ray helpless. It wasn't that he didn't want to, but that he couldn't. In this situation, he simply couldn't make a choice. He also couldn't make any choice. But what made Lin Ray feel despair was that in front of this fellow, he didn't even have the strength to exchange a single blow. In just one exchange, he had been miserably beaten. Now, it was hard to say whether he would live or die. What should I do? Seeing the demonic beast's head getting closer and closer to him, Lin Ray's heart pounded. At this moment, his heart was blank. There was nothing in his mind except fear. Yes, fear. He never thought he would be defeated so miserably. If he had known this would happen, he wouldn't have foolishly acted cool. Now it was all over. What was this? This was a kind of attitude of courting death. Moreover, Lin Ray perfectly interpreted it. Brother Lay, let me out. I will leave with you. Quick, let me out. Quick, Brother Lay. The scarlet flame tiger roared inside Lin Ray's body. Its tyrannical aura filled Lin Ray's body. However, Lin Rei chose to shield himself from the Scarlet Flame Tiger's roar. He simply didn't care about it. Master, how about us 9 dragons work together to open a transmission tunnel and send you out first? After all, this isn't our battlefield. Awoo, awoo. Just as Dragon One's voice fell, a tyrannical dragon roar resounded. Yes, yes, Big Brother is right. Master, let's listen to Dragon One and work together to open a transmission tunnel. Please leave first. Where there's life, there's hope. The only way is to leave first. As for the matter here, it's not impossible to take revenge after your cultivation has increased. Chapter 1251. Lin Rei was speechless. He understood what the 9 dragons meant. However, the most important thing now was that there was no notification from the system. It meant that Lu Shusheng and the others were not out of danger yet. Therefore, he could not leave yet. As for what the 9 dragons said, where there is life, there is hope. It is never too late for a gentleman to take revenge. How could he not understand? No, when he thought of Lu Shusheng and the others, who somehow found the strength to forcibly prop up their heavily injured bodies that were on the verge of collapse, the Chaos Dragon Spear naturally revolved around Linley's body, and the draconic aura became even denser as it healed Linley. Hold on for a while longer. After Lu Shusheng and the others leave, you all will establish a spatial tunnel. Remember, you must listen to my orders. Seeing how persistent Linley was, Niu Long, who had originally wanted to say something, held himself back in the end. They were very clear about their master's temperament. Once he decided on something, even Ten Bulls would not be able to change his mind. Not to mention, this matter was directly related to his breakthrough in cultivation. Helpless, the 9 dragons nodded and replied, Master, don't worry. I will do my best to complete the task you gave me. After that, the 9 dragons began to prepare the dragon origin. At this moment, everything was ready. As long as Lin Rei gave the order, the spatial tunnel would be completed in an instant. Lin Rei was very satisfied with the 9 dragons. He raised his head and looked at the demonic beast with anger. He had encountered many things in his life, but this was the most desperate situation he had ever encountered. If he could escape this time, he would be able to reach the pinnacle of Tao in the future. Of course, this was only Lin Rei's thought. As for this problem, the probability of it happening to him was basically 0, because having the system, he seemed to have used up all the luck in his life. Unless he could get some benefits from the system, he would not get any other benefits. The meteoric lightning appeared in his hand. This was the first time he used it after obtaining it. As for the danger, he did not know. However, it must be very strong. Come, let me broaden your horizons. I am not an ant that you can casually bully. So die. As soon as he finished speaking, Lin Rei activated his Thunderfall sword and Myriad sword arts. Myriad sword arts combined into one. At this moment, Lin Rei was serious. Of course, being serious was useless. His body was already in such a state. If he wanted to recover, he would have to pay a shocking price. Over 10,000 li away, Scholar Lu, Taoist Tian Quan, and Ouyang Shui did not stop to rest. Finally, they managed to escape from the beast horde and arrived at a quiet place. The 3 of them stopped. Lu Shusheng turned his head and looked around. When he was sure that there was no danger, he calmed down the fear and panic in his heart. Taoist Tian Quan, on the other hand, was different. After all, he had experienced many big scenes. Therefore, he did not feel anything. Hugging Ouyang Shui, he looked in the direction they had escaped. He felt an inexplicable admiration for Lin Rei. To be able to sacrifice himself to stop the beast tide that everyone else had no chance of winning, this kind of person was worthy of his admiration. However, admiration was one thing. If he was asked to stay, he would not be able to do it. Perhaps it could be said that he had not reached Lin Rei's level. Perhaps it could be said that he was afraid of death. As long as one was a human, no one could face death directly. It was the same for everyone. Even Lin Rei was the same. I wonder how Lin Rei is doing. Is it a blessing or a curse for Ouyang Zhen to stay behind so recklessly? Can his existence be of any help to fellow Taoist Linley? Or does he have any impression of fellow Taoist Linley? The uneasiness in their hearts was getting stronger and stronger. They knew very well that there were not many people who could survive such a beast tide. Even if they were lucky enough to survive, they would be trapped in that kind of fear and would not be able to extricate themselves. Who knows? Maybe Taoist Lin Ray can bring about a miracle. Maybe. The three of them let out a long sigh. They turned around and rushed into the distance. They did not look back and did not linger. However, just as the three of them successfully escaped from danger, Lin Ray, who was fighting with the beast, heard the system's notification in his mind. Host, Lu Shu Sheng and the others are safe. Plop! Hearing the system's message, Lin Ray's strength seemed to have been sucked out of his body. He directly collapsed to the ground. Finally, it's finally done. Panting heavily, his face was full of dissatisfaction. After all, he was Lin Ray, the leader of the Xuanzong Sect, Lin Ray. However, with the beast in front of him, the danger was not completely eliminated. When the system said that Lu Shusheng and the others were safe and had escaped safely, Lin Ray also sent a message to the 9 dragons at the same time. Swoosh! Suddenly, the mysterious tunnel in the sea appeared. Without a doubt, this was the space tunnel that the 9 dragons wanted to come out of. The tunnel was not big nor small. It was big enough for Lin Ray alone. Sure enough, it didn't let me down. After saying that, seeing the beast getting closer and closer, he was too lazy to pay attention to it. Moving his tired body, he stepped into the space tunnel. Congratulations to the host for becoming the first leader of the Jiuqian Xuanzong Sect. The destiny you will bear is unlimited. Oh, destiny? What destiny? After hearing the system's words, Lin Ray suddenly felt that there was a huge hole in front of him, and he had to step into this hole. I'm sorry, host. This is not something you can know with your current level of authority. However, if you want to know, then quickly increase your strength. This way, you will be able to know more details. Damn, are you playing with me? Do you know the consequences of doing this? Aren't you afraid that I will cancel the relationship between us now? When that time comes, let's see if you can still. Oh, sure. But I forgot to tell you that the consequence of canceling the system is that you will be tortured by the flames of hell. And in the end, your soul will be scattered and you will never be reincarnated. Master, do you still want to cancel the relationship with me now? Damn, it seems that there is no other way. Now, even if I don't want to, I have to accept it. Okay, but before that, you have to give me some benefits. You can't just let the cow work and not let the cow eat, right? This doesn't make sense, don't you think? Seeing that he couldn't get rid of the system, Lin Ray accepted it. Master, you must be joking. Let me introduce myself first. My name is Little Dragon, a chaos weapon spirit born by this system, and my activities are limited to the system. What's going on? This scene, this person, this scene, this voice, this image quality, damn it, this scene is exactly the same as when I first got the system. Host, you have finally grown up. Thinking about it, you were still a young child back then, and now you have become an all-powerful expert, sweeping across both the immortal and divine realms. Now, you finally understand that it is better to rely on yourself than on others. I hope that the host will continue to work hard and reach new heights. Ding! Special title Little Master Next Door has been obtained. You're tuning in to the Warrior Lore YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories.